The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, January 11th, 2021, and a lot of shit has happened in the NFL. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Super wild card weekend was packed. 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday. The Sunday night football game was the topic of conversation this morning, not only because it was the most recent, but because a longtime underdog, a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 24 years, a team that has had a team pick up and leave the fucking city, a team that had no head coach, numerous players out, couldn't practice, a team that seemed to have the odds stacked against them like we haven't seen in playoff history. A team that was allowed into the playoffs because of the team that they were playing against, which also happens to be one of their biggest rivals in the history of NFL rivalries. A team that whenever you're born in the city that it resides, you're taught to hate the city that has 3 rivers. You're taught to hate the team that you were playing against. All eyes were on you. On Sunday Night Football, a guy named Alex Van Pelt would be calling the plays. And although Aaron Rodgers said a week ago that he was going to do absolutely fantastic because he came up through the West Coast system and knew what the hell he was talking about, nobody had a clue who the fuck this guy was. And that team was up 28-0 at one point in the first quarter. That team would go on to win by double digits and move on in the playoffs and have an entire city rejoice for the years and years of dedication, even though they have been celebrating a suck fest in that particular organization. Congrats to Andrew Berry, the new GM. Congrats to Baker Mayfield. Congrats to Mr. Van Pelt, who probably earned himself an interviewer 10. And also congrats to Stefanski for being able to turn around an organization in Zoom meetings and a culture shift with Jarvis Landry and the boys over there, losing Odell Beckham Jr. Now they have to travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, and that'll be a conversation for another day and a celebration sesh for the Cleveland faithful. But right now, the conversation has to slide to the other side of the ball in that game. The Pittsburgh Steelers. What the fuck happened? Everybody's going to ask. First snap, Pouncey snaps it over Roethlisberger's head. There's a little bit of a scrum and a miss on a oblong ball that does not have predictable bounces. All of a sudden, they're up 7-0, then 14-0, then 21, then a turnover, then 28. And oh my God, this game is over. Should they have rested their players? Were they frauds all along? Was it the Browns that motivate them to talk with us? Ladies and gentlemen, Pittsburgh radio legend, Mark Madden.
Yeah!
Mark, how you doing?
Well, Pat, the hour of reckoning is upon us, and I would first like to congratulate Cleveland. The impact of that victory was such that LeBron probably won't leave a third time if the situation ever arises. And now you get to go to Kansas City, and the Chiefs are going to score like Golden State when nobody was hurt.
Okay.
So I don't think it ends good, but it is a congratulatory, celebratory time in Cleveland. And I really do give them credit because the Steelers never knew what hit them. But the Steelers are, to quote a former player, Lee Flowers, said it about Tampa when they would always do well in the regular season but soil the bed in the playoffs. The Steelers are paper champions.
Jeez.
They won 11-0 and then utterly collapsed for the 3rd straight season. And it breaks down individually, too. I'm sure we'll talk about Tomlin and Roethlisberger at length during the course of this convo. But you look at T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt's a paper champion.
Whoa.
He played all year at a defensive player of the year level. And then he disappeared in the playoff game.
That's because he's getting chipped.
He didn't have a quarterback hit. He was on the sideline in the 4th quarter because he was too tired. They're rallying, and T.J. Watt's too tired. Cam Hayward, invisible. Stephon Tuitt, invisible. Minka Fitzpatrick, invisible. Nobody could tackle. They gashed him on the run over and over again. Nick Chubb looked like Jim Brown. That's the side of the ball the Steelers were supposed to be dominant on. Paper champions.
Okay, so
no points
so
in
what
the
are your,
first quarter
so whose
for
fault?
A 10th straight game. Paper champions.
Mark, whose fault you think then? I mean, all those players, it is a coincidence that everybody seemed to have a bad game on the same night. But what do you think the problem is? Whose fault is it, you think? How do you think you beat this? How do you move forward? Because I assume, I have a feeling, and I might be wrong, but whenever you're talking paper champions and this and that, and not only Ben, you're thinking maybe a potential rebuild. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, when you talk about the Steelers, Pat, and you're a Pittsburgh guy,
yeah.
Most of your crew is as well, so you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. They should make major changes, but they won't. They should fire Tomlin, but they won't. They should coerce Ben into retirement, but they won't. Their idea of big change this offseason is what it always is. Fire the coordinators to placate the marks. But that's not real change. That doesn't change the culture. The culture's a problem. The culture was damaged by AB and Bell, and now it looks irreparably. Juju isn't wrecking it, for example, the way those two did, but he's not fixing it either. He's mature, he's immature, he's narcissistic, and he's just exemplary of the culture they have in that locker room. They don't have leaders. They don't have guidance. If you had leaders and guidance, Pat, you wouldn't come out and be done 28-0 in the first quarter of a playoff game against a team that was ravaged by both injury and COVID. I mean, that game was unlosable, and they found a way to lose it. It's absolutely embarrassing. And I'm not saying Tomlin isn't a good coach. He's just not a good coach there anymore. He can't reel the room back in.
Okay.
He'd go someplace else. He'd have a job in a second.
That's what I'm saying.
A great job.
That's what I'm saying. How would you feel? How would you feel though if as soon as Tomlin gets fired? Because by the way, Mark, normally you and your opinions are ones that aren't always the vast majority of Pittsburgh. It feels like with what you're saying about Tomlin is very loud in Pittsburgh. It's not just you anymore because there was always people that were big time. Tomlin doesn't lose. Okay, he wins. He goes to the playoffs. Feel like we're kind of spoiled potentially. Steelers fans are a little bit spoiled by the success. But now it feels like from what I've been watching, even those supporters in this moment of overreaction Monday are 100% on your side. You're like, it's not working for whatever reason.
Well, not in the media, Pat. The media in Pittsburgh, as you know, are stooges and sellers.
All right.
They stooge for the Steelers. Whatever the Steelers do is okay by most of them. So, but yeah, there is a fan outcry for Tomlin. Then again, there's a fan outcry for the coach to be replaced whenever the season doesn't end the way the fans want. And again, he'd have a job somewhere else. He'd do good. He's just not the guy to restore the Steelers culture. He said he was going to, and he did not. And I hate when people say, well, you'd never get a better coach. It's impossible to replace him. They replaced Chuck Noll.
Oh, boy.
They replaced Bill Carr. When it comes to hiring coaches, they're really good at that. But again, I hate to talk too much about this because it's just not going to happen. It's the same with Ben. And I've been a big supporter of Ben for any issues he's faced, both on and off the field. Nobody more so than me.
Because, hey, tell the people why, though, who don't know you. Your mom, right, and Ben were neighbors or something like that.
Well, right. That gets kind of blown out of proportion. No, Ben was my neighbor his first 3 seasons when my mother moved in with me because she had a fatal illness.
Okay, and he was nice to her or something like that?
A couple times. It wasn't like, he came over and had coffee with her every day, but there were a few times. No, I'll give you an example. One time I overslept, and my mom was already downstairs, which was not good because she had trouble navigating steps at that point. But she was downstairs because a bunch of her friends were visiting her. Wait, no, I got the story wrong. I'm sorry. Her friends were bringing her home from taking her to lunch, her teacher friend. She was a retired teacher. And I was asleep, and I didn't get her out of the car and into the building. So Ben saw her, get into the building, and I don't know if he helped her. I wasn't there. But the bottom line is I come into my kitchen, and Ben's sitting there talking to all these old ladies and just being a real nice guy, and I'll never forget that. And I've had people say to me, does that mean Ben will always get a free pass from you? And I always say, yes. Absolutely, it's what it means. So I've defended him for issues both on the field and off the field. But his inconsistency this year, as exemplified by yesterday, is just too much to ignore. It's just too much to ignore. And don't get me wrong, if I were going to make $41 million next year like him, I would come back.
He said, though, he's wondering if the Steelers will ask him back. So I think he's kind of floating. Now, granted, every year he tempts retirement and everything like that, because I do believe his body is potentially telling him at times, like, hey, you don't want to do this anymore. Then he gets in the offseason, and he's like, maybe one more run. His body starts feeling good, and it's the same thing. This time, he kind of said he wonders if the Steelers are going to ask for him to come back.
Well, he said, before this game, after the bye week, that the bye week imposed by the team, him and a bunch of other guys sat out week 17. He said he's never felt better. I don't know if I believe him. Ben and injuries, boy, they have a checkered history when it comes to him discussing them. I would love to see him come back and play like he can. It would break my heart to see him come back and play like he did yesterday.
All right. Well, Mark,
accuracy is just not there consistently. Again, it's all about consistency. You could microcosm the second half when he threw for a jillion yards and say, he can still play. But you can't knock the first half out of the equation. You can't knock the second half of the season out of the equation.
Do you think his elbow's dead or what?
I don't know what it is. I think he's just 38 going on 39. I think that's the problem in a nutshell.
All right.
And some quarterbacks can pull that off and some can't. Maybe he can't.
I can't wait to listen to you today on WXDX from 3 to 6. I cannot wait. 105.9.
I don't feel like we got through enough today. I mean, we didn't even talk. I got notes here, see? We didn't even talk about, the gutless nature of punting in those two situations.
Okay.
We didn't talk about the idiocy of starting Matt Filer over Kevin Dotson, the rookie, who's been their best lineman.
You called that last week.
In the lineup.
Hey, you called that last week, by the way. You did call that, and it was a pretty prevalent storyline there in that first half, if you followed along.
I also called them not activating Dobbs and using the Dobbs package.
True. And by the way, could have worked.
Hey, and you know what?
Hey, it would have been big last night on that 4th and 1 with Dobbs getting, my God.
Fullback
Pat,
dives.
if I can read the Steelers like a book, I think Kevin Stefanski probably could too. And by the way, how about Mike Tomlin getting badly outcoached by a guy who wasn't even there?
Wow. He was there all week, they said. They said they had the voice of God, him there all week. But what I was impressed with was Van Pelt's ability to call. Now, granted, it was already out of control by the time he really had to do anything and make any decisions. I think he earned probably a head coaching interview or two last night. I mean, that was a Browns dominant performance. Maybe the best football I've ever seen the Cleveland Browns play.
Yeah.
And is that the Steelers' fault or is that the Browns? I mean, that's the big topic of conversation today.
The Steelers dropped the ball, actually literally, but also figuratively, and the Browns picked it up and seized the opportunity. I give 10 out of 10 to them. I didn't think they had it in them. And here's the bad news, Pittsburgh fans. When the Steelers play the Browns in the future, it's going to happen now over and over and over and over again.
Because they're going to show the highlights? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's going to repeat itself. The Steelers are going to be the third best team in the division next year.
Yeah.
And if Joe Burrow gets real healthy,
Said that last year.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Madden.
Yeah. Now, one last thing.
Yes, sir.
Only 2,200 of your followers followed me. I demand better. I deserve better. At Mark Madden X. If you don't follow me, you are a stooge and a sellout.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Madden.
Yeah.
What a fucking animal, that guy. 40,000 people, by the way, watching. How you doing? Keep it moving here. This is Sirius XM Channel 82 Madden Sports Radio show that we broadcast on YouTube at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Overreaction Monday, January 11th. Had to have Mark Madden lead off the show. Knew he was going to be incredibly pleased with what happened last night, almost in a way. But now he gets a chance to talk about it every single day for 3 hours in Pittsburgh and just stir the pot. A part of the pot that's going to be stirred here for the next couple weeks, maybe even months. A man who did defeat COVID.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, this guy beat COVID.
Come on.
Never forget.
Never forget. And but last night, his team, suffered a massive blow right to the sack, losing to longtime rival and a city and a team that you have shit on relentlessly since you've got onto a microphone and a lot of people have listened. Diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan at Tone Takes.
Well, the city still stinks. Cleveland does. Congrats to the Browns on, I don't want to say the win because they didn't really win. The Steelers mostly lost that game.
Oh, and that's literally, we just talked about this.
And it started with last week when they sat their players to get the Browns in. So you're welcome there. And then Juju gave them bulletin board material.
The Browns is the Browns.
And then they started Filer, which Mark Madden talked about, which was evident on the first snap of the game because Pouncey was so worried about getting over to Filer to help that he snapped it over his head.
That's not getting talked about because Collinsworth was seems like he was reaching a little bit early there. And by the way, they just ran the same play back.
Yeah.
They said, we're going to start this script over, okay? So act like what just happened didn't happen. We're on the same goddamn play. It's going to be a run, James Conner to the left. They're going to know it because they know we're on a script. Let's just run it back.
Well, it's funny.
By the way, sometimes you got to beat the enemy, you know? Let's get past this right now.
True.
Same fucking play.
Well, it's funny.
Snap it to him.
It's funny you say that because they did get a fullback dive that worked on 3rd and 1 once. So let's just run that again when you haven't done that all season long. So that was great. And then we gave the Browns 5 turnovers. We covered Landry with a linebacker multiple times, which was a good idea. Tomlin lived in his fears all night long.
Wow.
Which
4th and 1 punt it.
Juju was dancing during a drive, during the cadence.
Yeah, it's on the internet. You can find that right now. He's actually lined up in the slot, 4th quarter, in a drive, need to have it. And before anything happens, he's literally dancing. And he hears Ben in his cadence, and then he goes, Don, I don't know, 15, 13 probably.
That's all.
And I didn't see any Browns fans thanking the Steelers last night.
No. Why would they? What you guys have been saying to them for all these fucking years? They're like, welcome back, bitch. This is what we've been living.
Some joy, Pat. They got to wake up and climb out of their shanties this morning and count their teeth. Yeah, all 12 are still there.
Listen, there's not enough light back there, which has been a topic of conversation off air numerous times, by the way. So for all of you that say put more light back there, I've said it. I have said it, and it just, for whatever reason, it hasn't happened because I do believe it is an interesting setup back there.
I was born in the dark.
Anyways, he's got a Jameson shirt on and a glass of Jameson right in front of him. You're dedicating this no free ads, but today's sorrow is being battled by, I believe, an Irish whiskey.
It's too much to overcome. So, we're going to drown our fears and we're going to move on. Good luck to Cleveland. I hope you get the doors blown off by Casey.
They say if you lose to the Super Bowl champ, though, it makes you look better because you guys lost to the champs or whatever. You're like, nah. Hope team that beat us goes and loses by 50. Everybody knows they stink. That's what you just said right there. At Boston Connor. First time you haven't had a team in the playoffs in a long, long time. Now, granted, this was Tom Brady's first time playing in the wild card in like 11 years or something like that. Absolutely insane. Tampa Bay Buccaneers get a win over Heineken and the Washington football team. It seems like the world forgot about Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
And then whenever you saw Tom Brady, there was a couple instances during that game against Washington football team where I was like, oh, that's why we forgot that's why Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Because this year, you saw him yell at a teammate one time, but most of the year you saw him just sitting on the bench all by himself whenever he was pissed off. Not normal Tom Brady, by the way. Normally Tom Brady, a little bit fiery, okay? Not scared to go. This year he was more like by himself, kind of just sitting there. You could tell he's upset. And I thought maybe he lost it. Like deep down. Didn't say it publicly, but deep down, I said, oh no, has he lost that competitive edge that makes Tom Brady Tom Brady? He did not, by the way. He was fucking man on a mission on Saturday night. They were kneeling down to win the game, okay, to kind of hit a hockey stick here, to kind of, seal the game. And they had to huddle in between two of them. And a guy, I believe he was a tight end or something, was just like kind of hanging out or whatever. And you see Tom actually go, get the fucking out. There was like a minute and 5 seconds left in the game. No timeouts for Washington. Game is over. And he's like, get in the fucking huddle, basically. I'm like, oh, okay. So Tom Brady very much has the same Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the Tom Brady, okay? The Tom Brady is the Tom Brady, I believe. And that is going to be something. Now they get the Saints, who, in one of the most boring playoff games in history, shout out to Nickelodeon for making that thing somewhat interesting. By the way, we got Lex Lumpkin joining us.
Yes!
Woo! Colts fan, sideline reporter for the Nickelodeon cast yesterday, who, to be honest, I knew none of the references. Okay, they didn't send it down to Mo one time.
Nope.
If they would have done that, I would have known what the fuck they were talking about. I didn't watch Nickelodeon, I realized last night. But to be completely transparent, watch the entire game over there because the game stunk so bad. I was hoping to see things. Now, young Sheldon's little smart ass pops up and delivers some gems out there. Okay, then you got the line and then all these references once again that I don't get, but it didn't sound like a normal game. So I enjoyed that a lot better than the CBS broadcast. Probably had a lot of success. By the way, can't wait for the old whites. I tweeted this yesterday to act like it was their idea, and I assume, yeah, it was, you guys. And then they realize, that maybe we can open up these broadcasts of these games a little bit because them being in there, getting to call it, by the way, is much different than like streaming watch along. Because being in there, you get to see things that are happening. You can kind of cook a little bit. It was awesome. Anyways, Saints beat the fuck out of the Bears. But I think the Bucs. I think Tom Brady is not going to lose to Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah.
I think Tom Brady knows that he's potentially sending Drew Brees maybe out.
Whoa.
Maybe out to the...
Out behind the shed.
Out to pasture.
Maybe.
No way.
They're talking Drew might retire. Tom Brady looks dialed the fuck in. And I think that might be a problem for the Saints, but this is going to be an incredible matchup.
Very hard to imagine Brady losing to the same team 3 times in one season, especially now that him and Brown, like when AB and Brady are on the same page, and then you still got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, there really isn't a better offense in the league, I don't think. So it's going to be incredible.
Geez, I
know, but when Brady's locked in.
Did you see Fournette was running too? Like he was, he was feeling it. Like playoff football, I think you got a lot of people realizing like, okay, we win, we get more checks.
Yeah.
All right. And we also potentially have 3 months after this to go do whatever. So let's go ahead and just lock in and just leave it out there. Fournette was moving, shimmying, shaking, making plays. And let's not get crazy here. They had a quarterback on that other sideline that was answering the bell.
Oh, jeez.
Taylor Heineke just answering the bell timeout. The dude floated for a tight whenever he needed one. I had no idea that guy existed. He was in the XFL, I guess. He played on Jordan Tom.
Battlehawks.
By the way, Tom, who's like the MVP of the goddamn league. The St. Louis Battlehawks might have the best QB scouting department in XFL history. I don't know who it was, but you need to get it. He was unbelievable on the football field. It came out of nowhere. That guy might have made himself a lot of money last year.
For sure did.
I don't know if he's automatically becoming the starter of the Washington football team forever and anything like that. But it is going to be a very interesting future for Taylor Heineke that none of us could have ever fucking expected.
No.
He had me rushing him in the XFL.
Yeah.
He's out there fucking moving, reading, making plays.
Going into the weekend, I think I wanted the Patriots to go after Deshaun Watson. But after Saturday's performance, it's impossible to say, Tommy Heineken is the guy going forward. He is the number 4 of this NFL.
I have no idea who the fuck he is, where he came from. I still have no idea what school he went to.
Old Dominion.
That's what I'm talking about. ODU.
Yeah, ODU. Come on.
That's in Virginia?
Sure.
I have no idea. Sounds like
I
it.
heard Dominion, I think. Virginia. That feels like a Virginia.
Sounds
Somewhere
right.
down there.
He's a player who he lost. I mean, we won't talk about him 1 week from now, by the way.
Oh, no chance.
That son of a...
Next year, though.
It's in Virginia, by the way, Old Dominion.
Nice.
Shout out to me.
Come on.
Nice.
Yeah. Woo! But we won't hear about him ever again.
Nah.
That'll be a week from now. Will be forgotten. Washington football team during combine time. Ron Rivera will be doing interviews. And they'll say, that last game we saw Taylor Heineke come, blah, blah, blah. Alex Smith ended up hurt. What are you going to do at the quarterback position? That's when we'll hear about this. But he was unbelievable. That will be forgotten about in about a day or two. Ravens get their bike back.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey. That team is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Now, just a few weeks ago, I was saying that team is fucking broken. And it's the poetic justice that came into play here between these two teams from start to finish is an absolutely beautiful thing. When the Titans came out and started dancing, Juju on the beat on the Ravens logo before the game. Malcolm Butler pretty loud out there. The whole team was out there. Then Harbaugh had to come out. And a lot of people say that's because a lot of the Ravens players were still in the locker room at that point or they hadn't come out yet or something long. I don't know. Harbaugh comes out. He and Vrabel have a give and take where Harbaugh tells Vrabel, it's disrespectful. And Vrabel goes, hey, go fucking coach. All right?
Yeah.
Listen, coaches go over there. It wasn't me out here, okay? So don't you be coaching my guys. Get your ass. You should be telling your guys to fucking get out here and fight my guys. You go, that's basically what it was. Titans win that game then, right? I mean, that is a problem in that type of situation. Then all of a sudden it's playoffs. Super wild card weekend. Robert Griffin III sent me a tweet last week saying, hey, we're going to go get our bike back. And although RG3 did not play, I would assume that Bob Griffin Triple Sticks is dialed in with how that locker room felt.
Yeah,
we knew that Ravens team was. Lamar Jackson was talking about how, I gotta get a win in the playoffs. Like, this is something I got to do. He's only 24 years old, by the way. Insane. He is so young. He is so young. He's still going to be able to be whatever the hell he wants forever. They go in there, and Lamar Jackson, when he kicked it into that different gear, it looked like the Cincinnati Bengals run from last year when he hit the spin move. It was like, oh my God, this team's swag is just like they were last regular season. Lamar Jackson looks exactly like he looked last regular season. And by the way, last regular season when we were talking about the Ravens, we were talking about them going on a Super Bowl run. That Ravens team then lost to the Titans in the playoffs last year. They're going to get their bike back. Tennessee Titans dance on their logo. Marcus Peters gets the game-winning interception, 1:27 left in the game. And as soon as he gets tackled, he didn't have to be reminded. He didn't have to be told. He didn't think about walking his sideline. As soon as he gets tackled, he gets back up and he just walks right for the fucking logo. I mean, you have to respect that. You have to absolutely love that. I mean, remembering that this whole thing this year started with them dancing our logo, I just ended it. I'm going to go fucking do my dance on their logo. In the moment, one of the most beautiful shit-talking pieces of poetic justice I have ever seen in my entire life. Anybody that bashed on it and said, like, that's disrespectful, that's not sport, I understand where you're coming from because you probably hated the Titans one too. But as a human that loves, like, competition, the fact that as soon as they did that, they're like, oh, you fucking thought we forgot. And then they went out there. That was beautiful. I love that game. Lamar looked unbelievable. They don't shake their hands afterwards. They go right into the tunnel, and then it was followed by Lamar having to come back out to do an interview. And him and Miss Lisa had an incredible interaction, by the way. I like that Baltimore team a lot. They're playing against a team, though, with Josh Allen, who's playing football better than almost anybody right now. Well, except for, the guy that we'll be talking to tomorrow, MVP of the season. That Bills team looks like a blast as well.
They do. I mean, to be honest, watching that game, it still kind of feels like the Colts really gave it away. I mean, Josh Allen did. He showed up when he needed to. But that whole game, I mean, I bet on the Bills, but I was just thinking, like, well, there's no way that they're actually going to cover. And then it looked like the Colts were going to go ahead and steal a win.
Yeah. You're 100% right, Ty. Can you put up the tweet that I put up here? This was just in the first half. In going into the playoffs, by the way, you can't make – everything is magnified. Everybody talks about it. Every play is magnified. Every decision is a big decision. Every turnover is potentially deathly. Every missed field goal will potentially cost you the game. The playoffs, everything is magnified. Every run, every block, every tackle, because, lose and go home. In the first half alone, the Indianapolis Colts made some very interesting decisions. There was a 3rd and goal pitch that was on the 1 yard line where Jonathan Taylor had been running straight and just pounding the rock. I mean, just pounding the rock. They go on a 3rd and goal pitch to the outside, lose 3 yards. Then they have to go for it, and they run a Patrick Mahomes, Phillip Rivers, backpedal, delay, throw fade to Michael Pittman, which they almost got. It almost made up for it, but instead, 0 points. You were on the half-yard line at one point. That can't happen, okay? So you start looking at those types of things happening in a playoff game. You're like, oh, this team's probably going to lose. And then you jump on 4th down whenever they're driving going into the half. It's like a 2-minute warning type thing. 4th down, it's 4th and 2, I think. They're in field goal range, kind of. They're going to probably try to draw you off sides. They jump off sides, give them an extra life. Boom, bang, bang, touchdown. What the fuck? Goes from 3 to 7 very quickly. And in that same drive, they were getting some very, very lucky placed toes. Because in those catches that they were making on the sideline, dragging the toes, those could very easily have been, a 1/16 of an inch differently, and it's out of bounds. It's a whole different play. Everything seemed to be going the Bills' way. Those close plays that you have to have, Bills stop them. The 2-point conversions that you decide to go for instead of kicking the extra point because you get a yard on the thing, like, okay, you go for that. You got to get it. Because if you go for it and you don't get it, obviously everybody's going to criticize you for it. And then immediately after the game, Frank Reich was asked about a lot of this, and he said, the analytics told us. And I'll tell you what, I love Frank Reich. Frank Reich was my quarterback coach. I don't like the leaning strictly on analytics to make decisions that could potentially jeopardize your jobs and everybody. Now, granted, it's very sound. Okay, the science is very sound, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And you can utilize those numbers to kind of paint any picture you potentially want in sports and anything like that. We've all heard the stats that say in the 7th inning, after 2 outs with one person who's left-handed on second base, this particular batter is the best batter in the history of the MLB. It's like you can paint pictures with stats any particular way you want. And when they've gotten into the NFL, people just utilize these stats. It's just a gospel. Some people do. It's like, well, the numbers say 88% of the time it's going to happen. It was like, well, I'll tell you what. How many times are going to do that? Because there's still 12% on the goddamn board. Okay, so if it's not 100%, it's tough to just rely completely on something. But whenever they come out and say, well, the analytics said this, it's tough for me because you have to be able to feel the game. Like, that's why the Steelers on 4th and 1. Like, I feel like everything it says about their offense is you should not go for that, especially that night because the number's the way it's looking. But if the feel of the game there, it just felt as if it was on the Steelers side. So I think you have to be able to marry the two. But it does feel like the super analytics people always have that out where they're like, well, the numbers told us, told us. It's like, okay, well, who did that fucking hire? You or the AI guy in Oculus is just fucking going off the goddamn shit.
Happened to Vrabel, too, on that 4th and 2 against the Ravens in the 4th quarter. It was like, you got to go for that, and they punted it. And it was like a 15-yard change, right?
And then the Ravens had a 7-minute drive, and they kicked a field goal, and then that was pretty much it.
You know, not a lot of analytics talk over there on Nickelodeon. That was one thing they got right.
True.
Something we have to address before we get to a break here. We have another. What's that?
I don't have the graphic I was trying to tell you.
I don't know what graphic it is. I'm just congratulating Zito on beating COVID.
Thank you so much.
Zito is back after a week and a half, 2 weeks in a COVID cave.
I thought it was GOT, but I don't know.
You just thought it was 2 weeks of gout?
I think so. I don't know.
Zito's gout is so strong that it tested positive for COVID. Your gout got COVID. We appreciate and are pumped that you're back, buddy. Great to see you.
Bears went down, though.
Yeah, they stink.
They stink.
They're bad.
That team was bad. That was a bad game.
They could have drafted 10th overall.
What's
now
that?
20th.
50K on a Monday.
We have 50,000 people watching?
That's what I was referring to.
Oh, there has to be something.
I didn't even know.
There has to be something else for you guys to be watching. Can't thank you enough for watching us. Now, we're going to go to a break, but that'd be very dumb. That'd be very dumb to do at this particular point. So we'll continue to ride this out. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We would love to hear some of your overreactions on how your team's doing, the franchise. We got coaches getting interviewed. By the way, Seahawks lost Russell Wilson. What the fuck, dude? He stinks. He lost me a lot of money. Now, Now, listen, I understand he probably lost himself a lot of money as well because playoff checks are much larger than when I was gambling, everything like that. But what happened? There was a couple moments there yesterday where I was like, oh, Russell Wilson is broke. Like, Russell Wilson 1 year ago makes that. Russell Wilson, beginning of this season, does that right there. Russell, what is going on over there? And then you start looking at the internet. It's like, is it his TikToks?
Maybe.
Is it Russell and
there's the common denominator.
Is it his TikToks? Is it his Halloween costumes, dancing with Sierra? What happened to Russell Wilson? Because he was MVP in everybody's eyes. We were fighting, no, Aaron Rodgers is the MVP, because there was nobody going to bat for Aaron at that time in the media stand. And obviously the internet. But we were like, no. And they were like, no, Russell Wilson's never got an MVP vote. And this year is the year that Russell Wilson's going to win it. That was week. And then something happened for 4 straight weeks where he was completely broken. Then he came back. They started winning some games. They were interesting. And then against the Rams there, that offense could not do a damn thing. And now, granted, Rams' defense is unbelievable. They are unbelievable. But still, they're in their division. Seahawks have to play them on a regular basis. You would think they would have some sort of lead on what to do. They look completely obsolete. Congrats to the Rams, who Wolford T's and P's. Getting carried into that ambulance. That was a scary photo. Now, it does make me wonder. Goff was able to throw, hand off, take snaps under center. Why'd they even start Wolford over Goff? Is there a problem? Does McVay have a problem with Goff?
He hates him.
Seems there may be.
Is McVay not like Goff?
He wants a mobile QB for sure. Because the Wolf has wheels, and I mean, Goff just can't move like he can.
McVay also has wheels, by the way. Him sprinting down the sideline for that interception to win that thing was awesome. Jalen Ramsey might be the most freakish athlete. He does things that are just so smooth. Jumping over a human at, I don't know, probably 16 miles an hour. They're probably running 16 miles an hour, speeding in some school zones. He is running full speed, jumping over people, floating, not touching them, and just batting balls away. It's like, what? This dude's playing with kids right now, it looks like. Aaron Donald, he has a cartilage tear or pull or something like that in his ribs. He sat out second half of the game, or fourth quarter, I think, of the game. He will play next week. Let's assume he's going to get the Tyrod Taylor shot.
Oh, careful.
Let's hope that it doesn't puncture his lung like what happened to Tyrod Taylor. But I think Aaron Donald will be able to play, which is big news. They lost another offensive lineman or two, I think. The Rams are going to be quite beat up going into Lambeau, but that defense could do anything for him. But the Seahawks might be dead. But the Rams don't seem like that big of a threat to the Packers. And I might just be completely wrong here, but in Lambeau, that Packers team, now unless something happens where they rest and they completely lose it, like what happened to the Steelers, it felt like, because they rested the game. But it feels like that Packers team got really in a good spot here. Quarterback still can't really, he was missing, by the way. Goff was missing a lot of throws. He wasn't as accurate as he normally is, because that's normally what Goff is, by the way. If he has time, he can normally pick you apart. He was missing a lot of throws. Banged up thumb. The offense hasn't been something that people have been like, you know what, love that offense, which is normally the Packers' potential issue is if somebody can keep up with them. But Aaron, I feel like right now that offense will be able to figure out anything.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Obviously, I'd rather play the Rams than the Bucs next weekend. But, I mean, after watching Cleveland and the Steelers, like, you just never know. You never know. You hope – I hope that – I think it's supposed to storm, so there should be some inclement weather.
Oh, really?
Which would be huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy that doesn't have a thumb. And
Exactly.
Aaron, who just grabs footballs like this.
Right.
You know, he's literally holding footballs like they're little darts he's just throwing out there.
And I do feel better after the performance the defense put up against Derrick Henry, because Cam Akers is very good. I mean, he ran it down Seattle's throats. So if they can stop him, I feel pretty good about the Packers.
52,000 people watching this.
How about it?
Hilarious. Go ahead and tweet the hashtag watching PMS. And you can enter automatically into potentially winning $25,000.
Whoa! Holy shit. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know how we'll pick who wins and who will be tasked with doing that. But all you got to do is tweet hashtag watching PMS. And you automatically be entered in. Maybe take a picture wherever you're listening or watching that, so we can learn a little bit about who's listening to this goddamn show. Because all we do is see numbers here. Sirius gives us no numbers.
Right.
So we have no clue who's potentially watching or listening. We want to let you know we appreciate the living shit out of you for spending this Overreaction Monday, January 11th, 2021 with us. We have to get to a break here, because if not, we are dancing with disaster on the other side.
That's right.
Zito, what is your poll for today, pal?
Today is, what was the demise of the Steelers? Last place, Coach Tomlin, 5.8%. Big Ben not beating it, 23.7%. Juju dancing, 31%. And Evan Fox curse, 39.6%.
Hey, you came straight out of the COVID cave with a big right, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. I feel like the Evan Fox curse will win this one, because as soon as he became a Steelers fan, a team that was completely undefeated would then go on to become basically completely defeated.
Yeah. Lost 5 of 6.
Many people will talk about Tomlin and everything like that. There is one man here in Indianapolis who tried to jump off the Lions sinking ship and tried to tear down a fucking another one.
Yeah.
You can call him the Titanic. You can call him the Glacier. His name's Evan Fox. And a lot of people in Pittsburgh will not forget.
Yeah, I'd blame me too if my team sucked ass.
Oh, your team does suck ass. The Detroit Lions do suck ass.
Touche.
All right, because of him.
Oh,
Now we're thinking.
still a team.
Who says not? 12:40 here on the Eastern Standard Time, Overreaction Monday, January 11th, 2021. We got to get to a break. We'll be back on the other side. Hashtag watching PMS to automatically enter into winning a piece of the $25,000. I don't know how we'll divvy it up. Gonna have to, probably give a little run by Phil and how he's gonna handle this too.
Part of the fun. It's part of the fun.
Sounds like a him problem. And Phil, I love you, man. I do. I love you, Phil. CFO Phil, I apologize for that. He probably did get that dropped on his head.
Love the listeners more.
That's right. We're back on the other side. Some phone calls and more Overreaction Monday takes from around the globe. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Cheers. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why I, at times, I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Very happy NFL playoff season to you from our sponsor, Manscaped.
Yeah!
Manscaped is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, offering precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. And they are here to help you have clean balls for the Super Bowl.
Oh, nice.
Superb owl.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm supposed to say.
Superb owl.
Well, actually, it says clean balls for the new year, but we're way past that now.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So now you should have clean balls for at least what? The quarterfinals of the NFL this weekend?
The divisional round,
Probably.
Come on.
You want swamp ass?
Happy NFL playoff season.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Spoiler alert, hairy nuts are gross. Step into the new playoff season with the tree standing taller and shave your voice.
Sounds good.
You hear me playing ad-libs, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Manscaped is here to give you a perfect NFL playoff resolution that you'll actually want to keep. The Perfect Package 3.0 is the below-the-waist grooming package you need to start to have a strong year this year.
Hell yeah!
Jesus. Get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/Pat. Play that thing. Get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/Pat. Look at this thing, by the way. This might be the thing I'm most proud of in the history of anything we've heard. Yeah!
It's a clean shave.
Trim the bushes. The trees will stand taller. That's manscaped.com/Pat. They got an anti-nick technology.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. They have, if you have the ability to, and you haven't yet, you need to experience a shave with the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0.
Changes the game.
It's unbelievable.
It's almost like alien technology.
Seriously.
It is.
It really is.
Is Elon Musk own Manscaped?
He
Oh,
might.
he might have a hand in it, yeah.
He's definitely an alien, by the way. He's churning out starships, rocket ships, every 3 days, 5 million a pop. Get them while they're hot. Let's all go up to Mars. He said there'll be enough jobs up there for everybody.
Yeah. And if you can't afford it,
The
you can just work it
fuck
off.
is going on, dude? What's that? You can't afford a Starship? No big deal. You
Doesn't
just go up
matter.
there, go ahead and plant some seeds, pal.
Yeah, that's right. Just keep playing. You'll be fine.
Then you hop in that thing. 3 years, you come back. You're going to be a hero. You were a spaceman.
Well, who knows if you come back? There might be another planet far out there that you can just, that might be a one-way stop to that next one.
Oh, yeah, because you can refuel.
Skipping rocks.
Exactly.
Skipping rocks.
We will be skipping rocks on the Starship. Hey, nice to see you still got it over there. You were quiet for a little bit.
Yeah.
Steelers losing. I think maybe COVID didn't take them out, but I thought the Steelers losing to the Browns might have.
Losing bad.
Honestly.
No, it's what are you going to do, Pat? What are you going to do?
They literally sit back and watch the Browns play next week.
I can't wait for that.
By the way, 7 games left in the NFL season. 7 games, okay?
Damn it!
So what we need to do is enjoy the national championship tonight.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, enjoy the national championship tonight. FanDuel is so stupid, by the way. They have a boost for this evening from minus 330 to minus 110, which is basically even money, okay? Alabama to win the national championship money line, just to win, no spread at all, from minus 310, which means you're making next to no money off your money betting, to minus 110, which means you are making money off of what you're betting. You win $45 whenever you bet 50. I mean, what a hell of a play there. They're so dumb. They just give money away over
It's awesome.
They refunded a bunch of people yesterday because Jimmy Graham just jogging in the locker room after that touchdown and that potentially affecting the spread. I don't love it, but they love doing it. So we will take their money back if they are refunding everybody.
Absolutely.
Got to do it. Let's go to Jameson in Kansas City. What's going on, Jameson?
Jamie.
Nick, did you say cheers back there?
Sounds like he was hitting it early, too.
Your Jameson seems to be a little bit louder than his. Let's go to Evan in New York. What's going on, Evan?
Yo, how's it going, Pat and the boys?
Hey, I'm happy I could hear you there because I thought it was potentially our fault. But Evan, everything's good. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Yeah, bud. So this show stinks, but you know who doesn't stink? The Cleveland fucking Browns.
Oh, the Browns is the Browns, and the Browns don't stink, you're saying. What do you want to say about them?
Well, just a small bit of information that I think is going to affect our bets going forward. The day of Swagger Sr.'s death, our mascot is the same day as the Super Bowl this year. We got a dead mascot game.
Okay.
All right, Evan.
Something to consider.
Hey, Evan ain't never lied, dude.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, by the way, to Swagger.
Yeah,
that dog was
seriously.
awesome.
He was.
Also, to my sister, Maddie, my dad's dog, and my mom's dog. She passed away this weekend. Rest in peace to Maddie, too.
man.
Yeah, my dad's going through it right now. He loved that dog, and my mom loved that. It's no fun at all. Shed a tear this weekend for Maddie. And so my dad's and mom's dog, Maddie, they got her literally when I was at home training for my pro day. So after I left West Virginia, I went back to Pittsburgh to train in Pittsburgh with some people I knew because we didn't want to pay a bunch of money basically to train anywhere else. So I'm training in Pittsburgh, and I'm staying at my parents' house again, after living in college or whatever. And those that don't know, it was a very small, very, very small house. But we had a good time still. So me and Phil were still partying while this was going on. So I'd be sleeping in basically, go work out, go kick, and then we'd have a good time and then just put that on repeat. They decided to get the dog while I was there. So me and that dog, literally her first days as a McAfee, they got her because I was at home to let her out whenever they were at work or whatever. And she was a problem. She's one of the cutest dogs of all time, one of the nicest dogs of all time. She passed away. I feel terrible for my parents, but also rest in peace to Swagger Sr.
Yes.
Yeah.
Birthday's on Super Bowl? Wow. Do you think the Chiefs know that? The Chiefs need to fucking relax this weekend.
Yeah. It was a big weekend for revenge games. I mean, the logo revenge game, the Browns is the Browns revenge game, the Rams getting pissed about the cigars revenge game.
I completely forgot about Goff saying they were out here smoking cigars and stuff. We remembered that.
Don't forget about Tom and Chase.
Tom revenge game.
I'm
against
coming,
Chase Young.
Tom. So that's what 5 of 6 games had. What was it? Josh Allen but they tried to cook up the Frank Reich and the Bills thing.
That's right.
But aside from that, every other game had some sort of revenge in it. Let's go.
Huge.
WWE, NFL coming together. I like good storylines. What do we got this weekend?
Okay.
AB against the Saints for the second time.
Oh yeah, because he just got home from the ghetto.
New Orleans this time.
Sean Payton was
talking about a deal.
And Brady revenge because he's 0-2 against him.
Well, and Brady revenge because he and Drew Brees are battling for touchdown passes, and Drew's potentially gone.
Was LaFleur and McVay together?
Yeah, they coached together.
That's how LaFleur got the gig, by the way. And everybody says McVay's so much better than LaFleur. LaFleur just gets shit on. LaFleur's team is going to come out and rally this weekend. Not because it's the quarterfinals, the Elite Eight, the big-time playoff weekend. Not because that, but because of what people have been saying about LaFleur and McVay.
Right. I have heard that actually quite a bit on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. Ravens, Bills, do you remember what people were saying about Lamar Jackson up there in Buffalo?
Couldn't run as good as Josh Allen.
Oh, they were so rude. So rude.
Revenge playoffs, it feels like this year.
No, it's so much bullshit.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to really take it serious. But then whenever it gets referenced, I love it because it's like taking advantage of a situation to make somebody's life worse, right? So the Browns is the Browns. Baker Mayfield putting out that video before the game with the Browns is the Browns is just such a beautiful way to like talk shit to Juju, basically. Like, yeah. Now, granted, is Baker Mayfield going to play any better or any worse if Juju says any of those things? No. But does it make it much more awesome whenever Baker does do that or they win? Yes, 1,000%. So I will forever love people just going out there talking out of their pocket, talking bullshit about people. I'm all about it because, boy, if it works out for you, go ahead and dance on the grave then.
Oh, yeah.
But if it comes back to get you, that's classic heel, baby. That's classic wrestling. Like, that's just the way it goes. That's why the Marcus Peters sprint to the logo is just so beautiful because it was a perfect bow on that entire little run that the Titans and Ravens had. Diggs, you were going to say something there?
I just still can't believe that Juju did that. And now he's gone, so.
You don't think there's any chance the Steelers sign him?
No, the issue with the Steelers organization that Mark Madden was talking about, they will bring back all the coordinators. They will bring back Tomlin, which I don't think it is Tomlin's fault. But if Tomlin needs to go to get rid of Randy Fichtner, then that's just collateral damage that has to happen.
So this is exactly what Mark Madden said. Mark Madden said the coordinators will get fired, and then everybody will just move on.
I mean, they've both been there forever. Both of the coordinators have been there forever. Get rid of them. If Tomlin can't do it, then
you don't know what's on that other side, my friend.
Chan Gailey.
Look, Ben's got to go. I mean, look, we can beat around it if we want.
Whoa.
If Ben stays on the Steelers, he's going to cripple the
so we
team.
can pick up Cam Newton in the offseason and go 4-12.
It'd be cheaper than $41 million against the cap. Then you could maybe bring back a guy like Bud Dupree.
By the way, Deshaun Watson going to the Dolphins really heated up.
Picking up. What's happening?
So Deshaun Watson's team is, I would assume, very tight with the ESPN Insiders crew. Because if you go back to Adam Schefter's caption the night that it was found out that Deshaun Watson wasn't happy about the Caserio thing, it was basically a novel written by Deshaun Watson's people, and Schefter just wrote in there, per source at ESPN, source per ESPN, or something, per source at ESPN or something. Sources told ESPN. And then Mortensen goes this week and he's like, hey, listen, just a little heads up here. Watson could make the Texans' life miserable if you want. It's like, Really? Like he could? Yeah, I guess he could absolutely do that. $156 million contract that has a no trade clause in it. But now they're saying Deshaun Watson potentially just going to hold out for a year, not even play. I'll go to Miami. Miami in return sends Tua, 3, 18, and 35, and maybe a second-round draft pick. Is that a deal? Sounds like that's probably a deal for both sides there if I had to guess.
Get it done.
Is that going to happen? We'll follow along with the ESPN insiders because they are reporting for Deshaun. Yep. Hour 2's on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show. If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, oh, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's
that little mark with the A and then the ring around it?
At?
See, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm. No,
what is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, which what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard, and 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with a goddamn yellow cartoon, bro. That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches, 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak, 1997, they said it. 2014, do you remember when Ebola hit? It was like, it was literally...
Hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece?
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this. President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, oh, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidenci. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff? It's got to be time travel.
Matt Groening is a time travel. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998. They said it. 2017, it happens. The Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot Librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-Eyed Fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-Eyed Fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. And that is huge. He created another show like, yeah, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening. And guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans.
I'm a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, January 11th, 2021, and there's a lot of shit to talk about. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. It is magnificent. Big thanks to Mark Madden joining us in hour one, talking about the Steelers' colossal collapse at the end of the season this year after such a promising start going 11-0. The Browns move on to play against the Kansas City Chiefs in the quarterfinals of the NFL, the Elite Eight. The next week on this ride to the Lombardi, 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. We talked about a lot of the games. We talked about the Nickelodeon broadcast. Speaking of that, Lex Lumpkin will be joining us in 22. Yeah! To be honest, I have no idea. I don't think I've spoken to somebody his age ever in my entire life for longer than maybe hey, how's it going? Oh, okay, you're awesome. My favorite subject in school was blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You're the best. And then, another. So I'm pumped to talk to Lex. Lex was electric yesterday.
He was.
Lex is from Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. Lex is a star on Nickelodeon. Can't wait to chat with him about that entire operation we talked about in the first hour. I didn't watch the CBS broadcast because the game stunk and there was no fans, okay? So I went to the Nickelodeon broadcast strictly because I felt like there's maybe something that was going to, and it did. Like it was optically pleasing for those of us who have ADD, okay? Yeah. There was shit popping up on the screen. Oh, yeah. The first down marker was not only moving physically, I thought that was going to be like a gimmick. Right. I thought they were like, oh, so close. And then like, I thought that was going to potentially be like a thing. But then when they figured that out, by the way, and they had the moving first down marker and then the slime zone, which by the way, I had no idea that you Nickelodeon nerds wanted to get slimed. I did not know. That was something that happened.
Badge of honor.
That's awesome.
Badge of honor indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Just ask Sean Payton.
Dump that shit on my head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Give it to me.
Yes.
Please.
That's right. Slime me.
This vanilla pudding like substance. Mm-hmm. Dump it on my head. Please.
It was making it rain as a child.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Slime the shit out of me, dude.
Please.
Okay. Because I feel like I didn't watch a lot of Nick, obviously. Okay? I didn't watch a lot of Nick. That's why I didn't get a lot of the references and why I'm asking the question about wanting to be slimed. I think when I did watch Nickelodeon, the losers were getting slimed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Wasn't that kind of like the thing there?
On like Double Dare and stuff like that. But when you went to Universal Studios and you got to get slimed, I mean, you felt like one of the stars that was on Double Dare.
What, they had like a splash zone where you get slimed, like Kennywood, where the fucking guy comes down the big hill and it hits the wall?
A lazy river of slime.
Really?
Close. There's also some like stand here and you will be slimed. You just go right underneath. You just wait for the magic.
Blasted with slime.
So then, and where's this at?
Universal Studios.
Parents hate it.
Where's that at?
Florida.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You guys are standing in front of a goddamn tube that says blast here, and you guys are getting vanilla pudding blasted on your face and body. Then you're walking around 105 degree, 100% humidity ass Florida.
Yeah, everyone's
this
like-
is a good thing you guys have?
Everyone's like, whoa, that guy just got slimed. And then they come up to you, hey, where can I go get slimed next? And you let them know. You just walk down that alley.
Your
take a
day
left.
can suck right down there.
You go get slimed right there. You look like a green guy forever.
Because listen, I was all about them getting in the slime zone, but I thought the slime zone potentially comes like on a sack or something like that person did. I thought it was a loser thing, but instead, somehow, it has flipped into being something that people desire. I had no idea that was the case. And by the way, Cameron Jordan, I think, viewed it like me. I ain't fucking doing it. He said, I just won a game. He had a Hannibal Lecter mask on, the whole thing. He gets out of there. I would assume that family
losers.
lost.
Yeah, those are losers.
Probably.
But that's the thing about Nickelodeon is even when you lose, you win with the slime.
You wouldn't have got
That's why
slimed
I
at
didn't
Universal.
watch. That's why I didn't watch.
Same reason I didn't get slimed at Universal.
Amen.
I ain't getting fucking slime on them goddamn new shoes I bought you.
Hey, those 11s that old Sean Payton was wearing did catch some vanilla pudding dyed with green right all over them. Now, I will say, I enjoyed the broadcast, though. For all those things that I just talked about with the slime and not watching Nickelodeon and understanding zero of the references. I had no idea what that goddamn shellfish patty did to the other person whenever they were making little references like that. And then I believe there was another, maybe a Doug that existed at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I heard Doug a little bit. I have no idea about any of their backgrounds, but I will say I was optically, I think, much more entertained than the CBS broadcast. If it was a great game and it was a shootout, the football game would have been what I would have been like, okay, I'm watching this. But with that game not being great, okay, that one, it added some shit that I enjoyed. I assume it's going to be a massive success.
Yeah.
And I hope it opens the broadcast up a little bit to a couple more options on the scene, by the way. Because them having a booth in the stadium is that's much different than streaming along at home. You could see the behind the scenes shit. I would assume they got a chance to talk to a lot of players, which they did. They interviewed, they talked about, hey, this person likes vanilla and chocolate ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that a swirl? Oh! It's a swirl, yeah. So there was a lot of that. So they did get to interview the players and the coaches. It would be nice if they opened that up just one more step. Hey, let's go to an internet broadcast, okay? Let's let them get a booth in the goddamn stadium, do some interviews, and then let's see what we can do. That'd be great if that's what comes of this Nickelodeon thing. And maybe that's why I gave them a rating. You know, maybe that's why I was like,
Smart.
I want this to succeed for the future of the NFL. But also, I thought Noah, I thought Nate, and I thought
Gabby,
I thought she did great. Lex Lumpkin was great.
Obviously.
And the MVP, Mitch. Okay, I mean, that put a bow on the cake.
It really did.
Did you catch the freeform broadcast or?
Well, I tried that one.
How was that?
Okay. It was one of those things where they weren't watching the game at all.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That happened on a Monday Night Football watch along earlier where Herbie and Reese, I believe, were having a watch along. And they had Peyton on there and Charles Barkley on there, and that stole the show or whatever because they were telling stories and talking shit to each other. But there's a lot of misses. I watched that because I enjoy Herbie's work and I enjoy Reese's work. But some of the interviews were misses, you know, because for technical reasons or whatever.
Fieri stunk, for example.
Well,
whoa,
I don't even know if Fieri was on there.
He was.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Oh, you don't say.
No.
Just saying.
I don't know why Fieri just took a shot out of
He did
there.
not stink.
But they didn't even watch the game, right? So I was trying to watch the game. They were obviously talking about something different. So if you're somebody who maybe didn't have like an interest in what was happening in the game, but there was some side conversation that you'd be like a podcast happening almost.
Yeah.
Like I think people would enjoy. That's kind of what the freeform was like.
Oh, nice.
But I watched the film room with Hasselbeck, Keyshawn, Rex, and Teddy Bruschi. That was awesome. I enjoyed that a lot. I got confused a couple times on which one was live and which one wasn't, because it would be live, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere it would rewind. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's the film one. I thought potentially we're doing a film one and a small one. That maybe open that up, or maybe do a split screen, so you don't have to have all the guys on there while having the film happening and the thing happening. But overall, I enjoyed that one a lot. Hasselbeck got to showcase his brain a lot. Rex Ryan got a chance to basically showcase what he was like as a coach. Keyshawn was kind of hosting the whole thing, and Brewski was making some really great, it was cool to watch a game alongside them. And Rex wasn't scared either. It wasn't like Rex was Rex the entire time. I enjoyed the film room one, but I think Nickelodeon is going to win the entire weekend, for sure.
And once they open up to the internet one, like you were alluding to, they're going to realize that, a much more transparent broadcast is going to do pretty damn good.
Could you imagine the international numbers on a internet broadcast?
Be huge.
YouTube.
Oh, man.
It would be massive. Dude.
Yeah.
It would be. If they did it right. Now, they probably won't. Maybe a couple swings, but if they did it right, it'd be awesome.
Well, if they had the right people, I think, in there is the most important.
Maybe we're overreacting to their, future failures. You know what I mean? Maybe we should overreact in a different fashion. They're going to see this Nickelodeon thing as a success that it was, and they're going to say, you know what? We need to open this up. We've been wanting to do this for a long time. Thank you, Nickelodeon and CBS, for providing this opportunity. Now we're going to make money everywhere else from everybody.
Oh, man.
Good for them.
All right.
Hey, good for the NFL.
Congratulations.
Good for you guys. Anyways, we weren't the only ones overreacting here today.
Oh. No.
There was overreactions from all over the world. Ooh. And ladies and gentlemen, it's really our only segment at this point. We're a big segment show. It's time for...
I don't want to overreact, but...
We just nailed that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we did.
We nailed that, didn't we? Hey, we just nailed that right there.
Big segment show.
Hey, normally... have to say, hey, let's do this particular segment so that the boys in the back can find.
Cue it up.
All right, we're going to find that
That's
up.
when I start panicking.
Yeah, because they're just playing catch back there, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing things, and their jobs are to, okay, what do we think he's going to talk about next? And that's why, by the way, this show is much different than most. Mm-hmm. I've gotten a chance to work on some shows that are like that, and they have a lot of success, and I respect the hell out of them, but my brain just doesn't work like that. If I want to talk about something in the D block, or in the A block that's supposed to be in the D block because it's potentially relevant to something that's popping off in the A block. Like, it's going to be hard not to just snag that bitch from the D block and go, guess what, bitch? You were 4th string, now you're a fucking starter. You know what I mean? It's going to be, sometimes you want to do that. And the boys in the back just have to play catch up. We didn't even have to say it a couple times, even though we are kind of doing that now. I would like to make it very well known that was great work behind the glass.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our favorite segment for a reason. Let's get to some tweets. This one did not trend this morning. A lot of shit was going on in the world, buddy.
Yeah.
That's why hashtag watching PMS trending right now is pretty cool, and we appreciate you all so much. Anyways, let's get to a couple of these. This is from Brian Keel at RBI BRIBK. RBI Bribka. Ooh. This guy plays baseball. Right, RBI. That's what that.
RBI, yeah, run back.
This guy fucking brings. If he's never leaving any ducks on the pond. RBI Brian Keel is the guy that when he gets in the batter's box, they're fucking coming home, pal.
Yep, send him.
Don't even worry about it.
Power to the gaps.
RBI Brian Keel says, hashtag Pat, I don't want to overreact, but I drove to Pittsburgh and jumped in the Allegheny River last night after the game. Obviously had to add Corvette too. And the video is of this man flipping off Heinz Field, wearing a Baker Mayfield jersey, shoeless. It is 33 degrees in the water. I don't know what it is outside of that. I will say from potential past experience, this does suck.
Wow. Bit slippy.
He goes all the way in, halfway kinda, falls, stumbles, dances, Corvette, drives out of Pittsburgh.
It's a shame he didn't step on a broken icy light bottle.
Let's go to the next one. That guy hits RBIs, bro.
Oh, he also jumps on rivers, so.
Yeah, I fixed that for him because, that guy's committed to Cleveland Browns success.
Yeah. Happy for Cleveland.
He wanted to dance on the logo of Pittsburgh Steelers, but couldn't do it, so he got in the dead body infested waters of Pittsburgh.
Next best thing.
By the way, you go to Pittsburgh, you get on a boat, they say you're not allowed off the boat because you're not allowed in the water. actually happens.
For safety reasons.
Yeah,
correct?
you cannot get off this boat, by the way. Oh, well, we took the boat out to get in the water. Not here. You didn't do that here.
No.
Why is that? Well, we pulled a dead body out literally yesterday from right there. And there's also potential couple other shit popping off down here.
Oh, so we can't swim.
No, you stay on the fucking boat.
Oh, man.
That's what they say. That guy was like, guess what? Corvette. Chris Ingram at Ingram_Chris. Hashtag Pat, I don't overreact. But with Ohio State and Cleveland both playing teams with similar colors, Kansas City and Bama, does the state implode after getting dog walked by said teams? Chris Ingram likes to see the world burn. Can we celebrate Cleveland for at least another couple hours before the Ohio State-Alabama game? I'll tell you what. Ohio State looked a lot better against Clemson than anybody could have imagined. They only played 6 games or whatever, and everybody's saying that's a reason why they didn't deserve to be in there, us included. We're like, well, how can you judge them versus anybody else? It feels like there's, it takes some time to potentially build up your team. Yeah. Now, granted, it's been a long layoff since the last game or whatever, but this Ohio State team, I'm happy the Big Ten came back on their terrible decision, decided to let the boys play, even though they had dumb rules, and even though they had to go back on said dumb rules. I'm happy because that team, this might be the best Ohio State team that there's been in some time here. Yeah. I think tonight's a potential game. Now, Sarkisian's already on the way out. Okay, cool, hook 'em, dude. But that offense is very sophisticated, okay? The Alabama offense is very sophisticated. How Ohio State's defense matches up against that will be the story of this entire thing. And I think that is what you have, because Mac Jones has been damn near fucking unstoppable. His wide receiver won the Heisman, and there's 3 other weapons they have that have numerous yards. That offense has been unstoppable. Doesn't matter how Fields plays. He's going to play good, I hope. I hope he does. After that big game against Clemson, when everybody said they couldn't play in big games, he dominated. If they can't stop Alabama, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, I don't. 8.5 seems like a lot of points for some reason.
National championship. That's a lot of points.
Exactly. But that is why that FanDuel bet is so great, because I think I may double dip. I kind of like Ohio State, to be honest, tonight.
Really?
Yeah,
Nick Saban has never covered a national championship, 0-4 against the spread.
Boom. And Cleveland playing Kansas City. Kansas City has won, okay? They flip a switch on. What happens if you can't flip the switch on because Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunter just running out the clock?
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, how everybody says you beat the Chiefs. Everybody says you keep the ball out of the offense's hands. Then you watch games, and they have the ball for like 10 minutes, and they still win. So that's not even it. But I think it's a combination. If you can keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands in critical moments, okay, for instance, end of the game. If you can end the game without him getting the ball back, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
But if you give him the ball back, you're fucked. Sorry. And that's just how it goes, pal. Hate to break it to you. That's just how it goes. So if you can run out the clock, 4-minute football, 4-minute offense, where you're just basically trying to drain the clock out, and I think Chubb and Hunt can do that. They can ice a game at the end of it.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see if they can do that.
Yeah.
That's potentially how you beat the Chiefs, even though we all believe the Chiefs are going to win. There is a setup, I feel like, for the Browns to get the upset here.
It'd be great to say, like, hey, just get out to a lead and then run the ball, you'll be fine. But, I mean, last year, 24-0, 17-0, whatever the hell it was, doesn't even matter. It's one quarter, and they're winning again.
They're unbelievable over there.
Snap of the finger.
It is so cool to watch. What's that, Diggs?
I was just looking at the passing yards that the Browns defense is giving up.
Oh, man.
Oh, 500 or something.
Last night, I mean, they're in prevent. I will give them that. They're in prevent. But 500 last night. 300 to Landry, 333 to the Jets, 300 to the Giants, 385 to the Ravens, 431.
Jesus.
Oh, no, that's total yards. That's on me.
Oh, so you didn't want to compliment
Tony.
Hey, they had a good game there.
Just
You see,
Cleveland.
this is analytics guy, just hiding the numbers that don't benefit his idea or narrative.
How dare you.
That's Gumpy's mic is muted. He's screaming back here.
It's the Chiefs, though, right?
He's still Gumpy. It's unbelievable that you're getting muted back there. What type of show is this? Mutant Canadians around here?
That Saban nuke broke the mic.
That's behind the glass, by the way. That's them back there. I'm going to let you know that wasn't us.
No. Did Jay mute it? Really?
Whoa.
Yeah,
Jay.
That was dead batteries.
Duracell taking that son of a bitch down. What's another one, Foxy? This is from Alexander Johnson at AJ Johnson, 1996. Probably his birth year. A little 25-year-old guy, potentially.
Nice.
Numbers say probably 24, but maybe 25, maybe an early birthday.
Yeah, never know. Early birthday.
Hashtag Pat, I don't overreact, but is Taylor Heineke a better quarterback than Carson Wentz at this point? One game, okay. One game, guy balled out.
Hell of a game, though.
Played incredible. Is that the norm for Taylor Heineke? We will find out at this point. Carson Wentz, I just think, if Taylor Heineke had the bag next to Carson Wentz that he had, okay, I'm in the same boat that I'm in with Carson Wentz, where it's like, come on, we don't need that on our salary cap. If we're going to do that, why not take somebody who's really good at the moment? But Carson Wentz's upside still unbelievable. There's people in every city basically saying, we would like Carson Wentz as our quarterback. Not every city. You get it. The cities that need quarterbacks saying, would love Carson Wentz here. I just happen to think that his contract is one that, why do we got to dance? Now, his upside is unbelievable, okay? If he plays like he was in 2018 or 17 or whatever, unbelievable. With Frank Reich, that's cool. But if Taylor Heineke had that thing, I don't think there'd be the same conversation. But I'll tell you what, would you rather your team take a small-ass, tiny contract like Taylor Heineke, or would you rather pick up the $30 million in tow with Carson Wentz coming? That's an interesting question posed by our guy who's potentially 25, 24 years old, A.J. Johnson.
Take the Heineken cake cans every day.
Every single day. Build around the team. This is what we always talk about. Small contract for the quarterback, allow you to spend money everywhere else.
Yeah, but right now Kansas City Chiefs are around. They did a big contract, but they negotiated in a way that was unbelievable. Aaron Rodgers, he's quarterback still, and by the way, he's been paid, and he's going to get paid again a lot of money. He's still unbelievable. Tom Brady's making $25 mil. I mean, Drew Brees making $25 mil. So there's a lot of money still being spent on quarterbacks. There's just some franchises that can't seem to get it right because they don't know how to negotiate the salary cap to build a roster whenever you have to pay the quarterback. What's that, Gumpy?
Oh, I was just. I don't get
he's back. Hey, pal.
Kings are kings, man. Quarterbacks are kings.
Yeah, you got to pay them. By the way, I watched The Crown.
Pretty good.
Well, the uncle of the current queen.
Oh, yeah.
He just stepped down. Then there's a lot of stories about that guy. He's just the king of England. Just
dirtbag.
Didn't want to do
Whoa.
it.
Hey,
come on. That's what they have said, though.
I don't write the stories. I just read them.
History has said what you just said right there. You're 100% right. But are you? I don't know. Who wrote the stories?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? What narrative are they painting, you know?
We got to get to a break. We got to. That's not a good way to lead into this. Let's do another one. This is from Ian K. Hashtag Pat, I don't want to overreact, but worst, best weekend of football ever. I agree, by the way.
Yeah.
I completely agree with him. And I thought this a couple times. Whenever we were in the middle of that Saints-Bears game and watching Nickelodeon, and, whenever we would get entertained by the Nickelodeon, but normally just kind of fell off, there was a couple times where I was like, kind of holding me hostage right now.
Yeah.
Okay, there's not enough time for me to really go do anything or do anything else. So I just went in the Oculus. And I sharpened my ping pong sword.
Oh, there you go.
Getting there.
Hey,
look out.
I'm starting to play some real ping pong. But I thought to myself, 3-game Saturday, 3-game Sunday, really good idea. But if you happen to get a bad game, what are we doing?
Tough.
Now we got 3.5, 4 hours here where you're kind of stuck in the middle of what are you going to do? Still watch the game, obviously. Better than anything else that's about to happen for the next 4 months after these next 7 games are played. Let's not get that twisted at all. But it is the next weekend, 2 games and 2 games. I think this is going to be good. Like some people are upset that it isn't 6 games like it was this past weekend, which is obviously going to happen whenever you're in an elimination style tournament. I think the 2-2 is going to be good. I think it's going to be good. I'm pumped for this weekend, maybe more than I was even pumped for. Super wild card weekend. We have to get to a break. Lex Lumpkin is joining us on the other side. Yeah. He was the on-field reporter for the Nickelodeon cast.
Yeah.
It was actual broadcast on Nickelodeon. Stole the show. Yeah. He was the MVP. No, he was the MVP, holding the MVP of the Nickelodeon broadcast of the Super Wild Card playoff game between the Saints and the Bears.
Hell yeah.
And I think it's going to do very well. A lot of people know who Lex Lumpkin is now. And what I've learned about him, Indiana guy, Indianapolis kid. Can't wait to talk to him on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Overreaction Monday, January 11th, 2021.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
See that belt buckle?
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, look, things are going good, they say.
guy. He loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Okay. Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to.
What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Yeah, for the boat. Okay, let's do it.
We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair. That was a sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
Do we have any other shirts? Yeah, hold on.
You need to go get changed before you get sick.
Great work, Russia. I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC-regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Oh, yeah. Come on! Woo! 7 NFL games left this season. A season that we never thought would make it to this point has. Mm-hmm. Now we got to start thinking about the other side. Ooh. We got to start thinking about not taking these games for granted.
What?
Yeah, I know maybe if you're watching the CBS broadcast and the Superdome wasn't the Superdome, which is normally very rowdy, and the Saints and Bears game kind of stunk.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
You're potentially bored or whatever. But we got to remember, this is NFL football still.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And if you chose to stay on the CBS broadcast and thought to yourself numerous times, this game stinks, you were wrong. You should have bounced on over to Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm the first one to say, okay, I wasn't a part of Nick Nation growing up, all right? Mm-hmm. I did watch that one where they did slime the losers, Double Dare.
Uh-huh.
I have seen a couple shows over there, but I wasn't all in, so a lot of the references during the game yesterday, I did not fully understand. but I enjoyed what was going on over there. The graphics, the fun, the enjoyment of football was happening over there. And there was one person that as soon as he came on the screen, absolutely lit it up. Yep. Electric stole the show. As soon as he popped on the screen, I actually tweeted, Lex Lumpkin's crushing right now. Little did I know, Lex Lumpkin from Indianapolis, Indiana, big Colts fan, makes a lot of sense why that dude is the superstar that he is on television. Ladies and gentlemen, from all that on Nickelodeon and Unfiltered, which I've learned, both shows on the Nickelodeon, one scripted, one a game show where he's a panelist. That's why he's so damn good on a microphone while covering a game. 14-year-old Lex Lumpkin.
What up? I really appreciate it.
Hey, Lex, you absolutely crushed it yesterday, pal. Did you know you were going to kill it? You knew it, huh?
Hey, you know what? I kind of had a feeling, but, I was just ready to go out there and have a lot of fun, doing what I love doing, being out there on the live, talking to the people up in the studio and having fun with you guys.
Okay, so you were so impressive because of how young you are and how poised you were. No problem. It's awesome, man. When I was your age, they would have never allowed me on live television. I promise you that. So the fact that you're able just to dial it in and be so good on air is unbelievable at the age of 14. Just compliment you first here. Now, leading into that, was there a lot of Zoom calls? Was there production meetings? Was it treated as if this was like because it was a massive success, but was it treated like it was a massive event with the production and everything?
I mean, we tried to keep it fairly small with, the whole quarantine and everything. We wanted to keep a small cast so that there wasn't as big of a chance to spread it or for anyone to get it. But, it was treated pretty big. We had some big names, Noah and Nate on there. And, Gabby and I, we were really appreciative to be a part of it. But, yeah, there were a few Zoom calls to, get us into it and tell us what we were going to be doing. But most of all, they just sent us, different points and let us know what we were supposed to be doing. So, yeah, it was treated pretty big.
Well, you crushed it. Afterwards, did you guys have a meeting where you guys all got on your Zooms from 6 feet away from each other? Mm-hmm. And did you guys all say, hey, we just killed it out there? Everybody was watching, man. I never watched Nickelodeon. That's wrong. But guys who are members of Nick Nation watch it. I mean, everybody was watching that thing, Lex. It was awesome. Did you guys take a moment afterwards and kind of celebrate a little bit?
It was more like a shockwave of emails that happened. We didn't really get on a Zoom call. We all just went home and went to sleep and then woke up with our phones full of messages and Instagram full of DMs. But, it was kind of that shocking moment of, we're trying something new. We're trying to change the way that we watch football. And, this has never really happened before. So it was really kind of a test. And we didn't know how it was going to turn out. But it turned out for the best.
Did your friends your age say they loved it?
Yeah, I actually had a friend who texted me before. He said, hey, good luck, man. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And go Bears.
Hey, your friend's team stinks. It's not your friend's fault. Not your friend's fault, okay?
No. He's a big Chicago fan.
Yeah, that team stinks. That team, it was tough. You guys made the game entertaining there. It was awesome, but I don't know any humans your age. Okay, so I think the goal of this thing was like, hey, we're going to try to introduce an entire generation of people to NFL football. From your like kind of standpoint, while I was watching, I saw some people on the internet who were like 25 and 30, they're like bashing it or whatever. It's like, you had to have known that was not for you. Like, right. Hey, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, do you think that it worked? And do you guys have a plan to continue to do this? Like, have they told you like maybe we'll continue to do this moving forward? Because I mean, it seemed awesome, but I am not the demographic that they were trying to target, if that makes sense. Lex.
Definitely. I think looking at how well it did, they were thinking about doing another one. Okay. Because it did pretty well, and a lot of people actually enjoyed it. The energy and the flow and all of the Nickelodeon, the Nickified elements that they added to it. And, they were definitely thinking about doing another one or seeing what they can figure out really quick. But, you know, you never know. Just stay tuned, you guys.
Hey, I saw you playing quarterback there. At what age did you decide? Yeah. At what age did you decide that you were going to go into acting or entertainment as opposed to a probable professional sports guy lane? Jeez.
Well, you know, Indiana is a pretty big sports state. You know, huge in basketball, pretty big in football. And, you know, I always grew up wanting to play sports. I had huge dreams. I wanted to go to the NFL and NBA. But another thing that was really deep inside me is I had always been a performer. Even when, you know, I was in the end zone doing my little Ray Lewis dance, you know, whenever I tackle somebody, you know, I would slide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to do it.
But and all my life, I had been playing sports and at the same time begging my parents to put me in movies and TV shows and commercials and all of that. So I just, one day, my dad was like, you know what? Let's just put him in this theater camp, the Indiana Repertory Theater downtown. It's a week long, and it should suffice for now. But it didn't. No. They called me a month later. No. And they asked me to audition for Stuart Little in the play of Stuart Little, and I booked it. And from there on, that's kind of where my career took off. And I still play with sports. Like my brother, he's a big sports player. He's like 6'4" at 16 years old. So he's definitely still playing sports. But, you know, I go train with him sometimes.
Hey, that's incredible. Congratulations, by the way. I'm not sure Indianapolis is just creating legends on Nickelodeon every single day. So congrats to you. I have performed at the IRT as well for a fundraiser down there. Great theater. A lot of shows come through there. Happy you crushed it. Boys, do you have any questions for Lex? Ty, please.
I do. Lex, I just want to know, what's the environment like on all that? Because that used to be like one of my favorite shows growing up. Like, is being on SNL, like, because I guess that's kind of what it's like. Is like that one of your ultimate career goals?
Yes. Being on SNL is definitely a career of mine. It's kind of like the next step up. Because, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, as much fun that it looks like we have on TV, we're having even more fun backstage, you know, even more fun behind the scenes, and even interacting with the fans when they come to watch. And it's just a family environment, especially over at Nickelodeon.
Hey, all that's a sketch show?
Yeah, sketch comedy.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
Let's go, dude. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's like kids SNL. SNL. Okay, yeah, we do sketches and impressions.
Oh, that's why that was happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was a lot of impressions happening yesterday, Lex. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, that's what that, I did not know that. Oh, Lex, you're like a Lex is a stud, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Superstar.
Hey, no, I appreciate it, y'all.
Hey, no problem. Lex, Zito, what do you got?
Hey, Lex, were you able to track down Mitch and give him the MVP trophy?
No, I wasn't. They headed straight into the locker room.
That's a shame.
But, you know, I was able to get an interview with one of the players, and we tried to slime the coach, but, you know, they just wouldn't come out.
It's unbelievable.
I don't blame them, though.
Should fire him, yeah.
Hey, they did get him afterwards. I don't know if you saw it. It got on his shoes.
They did?
I can't. Yeah, they did. It's on the internet. You'll see it.
Yeah, we're going to look at it tonight because I wasn't able to catch it.
I can't believe Cameron Jordan didn't.
Yeah.
I can't believe it didn't happen. I was a little bummed
out. Yeah, it was close. And we almost got it. You should have seen the producers at the NFL. They were like, no, we got to get it. It was funny. It was funny, though. It was fun.
Hey, Lex, great job. Thanks for repping Indy in the way that you do. Can't wait to see you on SNL. Keep it going, Lex. Appreciate you, man.
Ain't no problem, man. As always, knock down.
Lex Lumpkin. Kid's 14, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds like a 45-year-old.
Yeah, pretty charismatic.
That is unbelievable.
Hell of an impression, too.
Yeah. I heard that Denzel, they did Cardi B, Denzel, Jay-Z.
That was Nate Burleson.
Yeah, but I'm saying the amount of impressions that were done last night. There was
Beyonce.
Beyonce was done. There was, there was a lot of. By the way, I was entertained because the game stunk, and then I actually, you hear me listening, go, oh, what the fuck's going on? And then, okay, heard it. All right, we're sneaking it. Okay, that's what it would be though.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to see how it worked though. Hopefully, it did just create massive success for the NFL.
No matter what, too, at least they're expanding it, right? At least they're trying new stuff.
Yeah. At least the old whites are saying, you know what?
Let's open the doors.
Let's open the doors. Let's open the doors. Hey, listen, they say you got to crawl before you walk, but we might as well start smudging along.
We should.
Go ahead and move a little
Slimy path.
It is. They opened it up.
Careful, it's slippy.
I can't believe you guys were like, last night is when I learned being slime was something that was good. I was like,
it's still bad.
That's what I think, too.
It's for losers.
I agree, Zito.
Yes.
That's interesting because you guys are all about getting slimed.
Well,
right here.
because not any average Joe Schmo isn't getting slimed. Like, you can't just go there and be like, hey, fuck, slime me. Like, I mean, it doesn't work
you gotta
like
lose.
that.
He's right.
Yeah, but it is. Because Diggs told us a story earlier where he literally went to Universal.
He's lying.
Where it said, stand here. Hey, slime me. That's literally the exact story he told.
I think he might have been fibbing a bit. I don't think it works.
Hold on.
I wasn't live.
Hold on. He goes one step further. He goes, and then you walk down and they go, oh, you got slime. Where'd you get it? He goes to some other person that's a nobody. He goes, fucking right down there.
There's a slime line right there.
That debunks everything you're saying. That debunks everything you're saying. Diggs, as a 7-year-old, had to stand on an X and just get vanilla pudding on his face.
I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed. He's got a new Mickey shirt. My dad wasn't going to let that thing go down the drain.
It was $49.99.
Let's go to Travis in Ohio. Travis,
my
save
dog-
the show, Travis.
My dad
It's for Nickelodeon.
Whoa. Pray for Daniel. Wasn't that the Zoom call?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That poor guy?
Yeah, I know.
He got screwed. He did.
No, he shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been doing that on that call.
No.
He was also the host, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel.
Rallying the troops.
Was that his name, Daniel?
I think so, yeah.
He got a little
That had to
bored.
be fake, right?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
I don't think that was fake.
For those that don't know, what we're referring to is a Zoom call gone wrong, where the Zoom host of, it appears to be 9 people, I believe. It's a 9 box that you see. He's the top left corner, and he thinks he has his camera off and muted, I believe, and he has minimized that Zoom box on his computer. And he has maximized some other clips to himself. And he was looking out, even went and got the Jergens.
Beelined right towards it.
Slaughtering his salami.
Whoa.
Let's go to Eddie in Colorado. What's going on, Eddie?
Hey, que paso, Pat and the boys?
Hey, que paso, man. Hey, that means what's up, Z?
Oh, yeah. That's what
Que paso, dude.
Happy Overreaction Monday, even though I'm sad about last night.
I thought.
Big Ben doesn't beat no more, but he gets beat. You know what I mean?
Holy shit. Little overreaction, dude.
Calm down, Tony.
Let's go to Cameron in Washington. What's going on, Cameron?
Hey, man, what's up, bro?
You know, just hanging out. Are you Washington, D.C. or Washington the State, Cameron?
Fuck no, I'm up here on Woodby Island.
Okay, so is that in D.C. or is that in Can't go any further. That was a good call. Cameron, that was a great call. I appreciate it. Let's go to Wyatt in South Carolina. What's going on, Wyatt? Where is that, by the way?
Who knows? No, we say Digby Island.
I have no idea what he said there. What a very cultured show here. Wyatt, what do you want to talk about, dude?
Can Trevor Lawrence save my sorry-ass Jags this year?
Oh, that's an interesting question. What about Urban Meyer, dude? I heard Urban Meyer and Shad Khan have had many conversations on his boat. We know Urban Meyer likes to get down on boats. He is a man that likes getting out on the water, letting loose and having a good time, maybe some good conversation. I've seen Shad Khan's yacht before. They did a special on him. I forget if it was on NFL Network or NFL Films put it out digitally. It was a morning where his soccer team over in England had a game, and his yacht was parked in one of the rivers there. He did yoga in his yoga studio, meditation studio in the bottom of the yacht. Then he came all the way to the top, walked the deck on one particular shot. You know, it was his yacht is unbelievable.
Gorgeous.
So if he's bringing Urban Meyer onto the yacht, by the way, you know what he's trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
Take
his shirt off.
Come on.
He's got him almost in a goddamn boat.
Look around.
For a
Urban.
fishing metaphor there. He is trying to get, you see this? I'll give it a fucking boat, dude.
Come on. Look.
I have so much money.
We don't care.
You see all those cars out there? They got bumpers, don't they? Yep. You think they're going to have those forever? Yep. You know what I do? Fucking made them. Just made them.
Only problem is I'm going to control the team, Urban. Okay, I'm going to be telling you who's who.
Draft picks.
Listen, I will tell you, you can make the picks, but they're going to have to be okayed by me.
Is there any thought that if Fields wins tonight and wins the Natty, he goes 1? Or is it just it's clear cut Trevor?
Very interesting. I would say nothing has changed on the Trevor Lawrence is a lock for the number 1 pick train.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll change everything. Who knows how he's going to play tonight? Maybe it's a Joe Burrow-like night all of a sudden in 1 evening, 2 evenings after his Clemson game in national championship, where it's a Joe Burrow spectacle for all you need is one general manager, and if it's Shada Khan or Urban Meyer, I mean, there is maybe that's the move. But I feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The entire country laughed at the New York Jets fan base, and the New York Jets fan base all cried whenever it happened that they weren't going to get him. So I think we're still in that situation, but that chatter will heat up around draft time.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to remember not to fall for that bait. Because every single year, what do? We fall for that bait. And we're gonna clip this, and we're gonna go back to this whenever we're starting to talk about Trevor Lawrence not going number 1, because Trevor Lawrence chose not to throw at his pro day or something. Trevor Lawrence once didn't get avocado on his something. Like there'll be some bullshit thing that'll pop up, and be some NFL executives are worried about insert this here.
No, he couldn't follow the rules. He did, in fact, contract the virus throughout the season.
And while he was suspended, the COVID thing suspension, he was on the sideline talking to somebody.
Without pulling his mask.
Without his mask.
Can
Will he be a good teammate?
Is he undisciplined?
It worries me.
People will say that. And we have to remember that people will say that. And we can't allow anybody in this room to say that.
No way. Can't do it.
Don't do it.
Although I do think that's something to think about if you're in the front office, that Trevor Lawrence could not follow those rules.
That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Can't have it.
Just
won't
something to think
have
about. Just something to think about.
Can't do it.
Might be an attitude problem.
Let's go to Nicholas Donner in Florida. What's going on, Nicholas?
Hey, what's up, Pat?
Hey, hanging out. How are you, pal?
I'm good. I have a question I want your opinion on. I look at Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers' career, and they're kind of similar. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, you say they're similar?
Yeah, I look at it, it's kind of similar, and they both each only have 1 Super Bowl run. Who do you think needs the second Super Bowl more for their career, Brees or Rodgers?
Brees would. Rodgers is on top of the world. He's only climbing at this moment. He's already been the greatest at what he does, and he's only getting more popular and bigger at this point. Drew Brees had his run of popularity there where he was the face of the NFL for a long time, and I'm not saying he wasn't that. I mean, he was. Drew Brees was everything. There was celebrations in the middle of Monday Night Football games where they stopped the entire game to give him a round of applause. I mean, that happened, and the commentators were clapping for him as well. I mean, that has happened. Aaron has been this kind of mystique for so long. An enigma, if you will, where and then now he's just getting. So I feel like Aaron Rodgers probably Drew Brees would probably need another Super Bowl. If it's going to come down to Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers, I think everybody on earth is picking Aaron Rodgers.
Looks like Rodgers has got a lot more in the tank left than Brees does.
By the way, Drew gave it a hell of a go.
Oh, yeah.
Long time.
For sure.
That Taysom Hill running game. When he gets going, he gets going.
It's awesome.
Kamara's unbelievable.
Did he draw them off sides 2 times on 3rd and short, I think? I'm pretty sure he did.
Good cadence.
Well, how about
Hey, you got to get down in there.
Yeah.
And Chicago did jump off.
They did 2 times.
And on a special teams play, I think.
Yep. Undisciplined football.
Yeah, one was Eddie Jackson.
How about that ass?
Both to become first down.
That asshole Drew Brees. We were getting in. Yeah, you didn't get in though.
He did not.
When he did the jump thing?
Yeah, that was
Got
tough.
stuffed.
That was tough.
They got him on the next play, though.
Let's go to Chris in Oregon. What's going on, Chris, up there in Oregon? How you doing, pal?
Pat, how's it going?
Hey, not too shabby, man. How's it in Oregon?
Oh, it's fucking wet and cold.
Yeah. Sounds a lot like Indy, pal. Just a couple 1,000 miles apart.
I think it's time we just rebuild the Steelers, man. We got to get out of here.
Whoa. That's an interesting take because I feel like a lot of Pittsburghers feel that way. He's in Oregon, feels the same exact way. Interesting that the Steelers are potentially staring down a very different team, but everybody in Pittsburgh potentially wants that or maybe is leaning towards that, and there's no way the Steelers do it.
No.
There's no way the Steelers do it. Steelers are a model of consistency. It is Mark Madden alluded to this in the first hour. He said, after Chuck, we didn't think, blah, blah, blah. After Bill, we didn't think, blah, blah, blah. The Steelers are good at hiring head coaches, and they have been for sure, but they haven't had to do it much. So this is just like the analytics thing. Like 100% of their hires have been great head coaches and had a lot of success. But you're only judging that off of a sample size that is very, very small. You look over at the Browns, they've hired, 70 to 80 coaches?
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, they're taking a lot of hacks over there, firing coaches and bringing other people.
Finally hit, too.
Yeah, Stefanski winning games from the catch.
We're giving Stefanski credit for yesterday?
What were you going to say?
I got mixed feelings on the rebuild as a Steelers fan, but I love that guy's analogy. Like, this party stinks now. We got to get the hell out of here. It's way too long.
Every week I got to watch this team. Randy Fichtner's over there with that ninja mask on weird. He's awesome, dude. That guy doesn't give a damn. Proud of him. What do? You think Ben's done? He said if they asked me to come back. He said it publicly, so that kind of puts the Steelers. This is the Steelers' fault now if he doesn't come back.
Yeah, Ben's coming back.
You want him to come back?
I want Ben to come back, yeah. I don't want to see what the alternative is.
Really?
Really?
For a goodbye tour.
What about like Deshaun Watson, dude? The Steelers are known for doing that type of move.
Maybe trade TJ Watt down there.
Oh.
A couple draft picks for Deshaun.
Easy. Bring him in.
Could happen.
I think Deshaun Watson, by the way, how does that end? How does the Caserio, Deshaun Watson thing end? Because it's not about Caserio. Deshaun Watson's people have made it very obvious, per sources, to ESPN, Schefter and Mortensen, it's not Caserio. Like, we probably think Caserio is an okay guy or whatever, but we got a big problem with the person running the show here, and we don't want to be here anymore. I know we signed a $156 million deal, but forget about that. We don't want to be here no more. Gumpy, what do you got?
The damage is done, my friend.
I'll get him out of town, get him to Miami, you're saying.
Send him over, boys.
If you're Caserio and you're staring at your options in Houston, with what Billy O'Stooge has done to that draft capital, salary cap, building, the whole thing, getting Tua, the number 3 pick back, the number 18 pick, and the number 35 pick, I mean, that's a hell of a way to start rebuilding your entire franchise. And at 3, even with Tua, you got a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of move. There's some good players potential really out there. Then you get draft capital back. You get the contract off your books, right? Because you got more money now with Deshaun. And it seems like Deshaun would be much happier there. Now, what you would be doing is trading away your best player in hopes that Tua or whoever you drafted 3 to potentially play quarterback is going to be a quarterback that can win games for you. Tua won some games this year. Yeah. Massive question mark, though, on can he close? Because every time he gets close, the bearded wonder from Harvard comes out. That's a big question mark, but Caserio could do that.
Well, and
that could happen, and it sounds like Deshaun's people are definitely pushing for it.
It's been reported that Caserio really liked Tua coming out.
Really?
And if they do get that 3rd pick, who's to say they couldn't then trade that to someone else, package it again, and get even more draft picks?
Because they'll have 3 number 1s here this year.
Right.
Wow. 3 number 1s, quick way to move up the draft board.
And probably not going 4-12 next year either.
But they're going to have to I assume Miami will have to send a 2 over there as well.
And so Watson's only 25. 2 is 22.
Yeah, it's not that big of a difference. You want Deshaun down there in Miami.
How could you not?
Oh, my.
How could you not? Tell me one team in here besides Rodgers with the Packers who wouldn't want him.
Hey, if the Colts, in the division, could put a package together. Frank Reich said he wants Phil Rivers back next year.
Nice.
Interesting.
Here we go.
I'll do you one better. If the Texans are able to land Tua in that trade, you go ahead and you sign Ryan Fitzpatrick back to the Texans. You recreate that combo.
Oh, we're bringing the tag team from the 305 right over here to the H-Town. Tag them in. Tua, you know what it is. 3rd quarter, you're down. Fitz, 4th quarter, you're up.
Strap it up.
Throw your slider. What did Mariano Rivera, what did he throw?
Cutter.
Oh, yeah. Still don't have a clue what that means. Did the guy throw a cutter against me?
No, probably not.
I don't think so. I think he threw you a slider.
That son of a bitch.
Little backdoor slider.
That thing really moved, too.
Oh, yeah. Catching the outside corner, right on the black.
I'll tell you what, that was an interesting moment in my life. When I played baseball, you can view that right now at youtube.com/the Pat McAfee Show. I played for the first time ever in my life playing baseball in a professional baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
And first time stepping in, I did batting practice beforehand, but I've never seen a live pitch in my life. Step in against a guy that was drafted to
I believe this is the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay, he's down in the Frontier League now at this point. First pitch, fucking make contact. How you doing? Almost run it out, get a single.
Throwing mud, too.
And then 91 or something, 92. Then the second time I get in, and the catcher, the pitcher, and the umpire decided to fuck with me. And they told me about it, basically. And he threw me a curveball. I ain't never felt like less of an athlete in that moment. When I tried to, I almost completely
swung out of your shoes.
Insane sport over there.
I was going to say you were batting righty, and it seemed that after the fact, you figured out you were actually a lefty.
Yeah. That's how amateur of a baseball player was.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what side of the plate I was supposed to hit from.
Yeah.
My body's a lefty, which I would have never known, by the way, because I do righty everything else.
Contact percentage, though, that didn't even matter.
And on base percentage.
How about that?
Due to an error, though, so it doesn't really count. I got on, didn't
No,
I?
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how you get there.
I did a full body slide.
Damn near stole second base.
Yeah, they took me out. I tried. I wanted to so bad, dude. I can't believe they took me out whenever I got in.
They were getting beat like 15-0, too. They should have just let you do whatever the hell you wanted.
I think it was I did want to get out earlier. I wanted earlier in the game because I thought I broke my thumb.
Yeah.
First at bat, I broke my thumb.
Got jammed.
Yeah, I got jammed. So I actually was throwing baseballs with my whole palm.
Catapult.
In between innings because my first at bat, I broke my thumb. So I was okay leaving earlier than I did. And then the coach actually told me one more at bat or whatever. And I was like, I guess.
Fine.
And by the way, it was the moment we were waiting for.
Yeah.
That's on YouTube right now. I stink at baseball. Don't know how we got to baseball, but we'll get back to football on the other side. AJ Hawk will join us, and Ian Rapaport will potentially maybe break some big news on our show. It's the Pat McAfee Show, Overreaction Monday, January 11th, 2021. We'll see you on the other side.
Let me tell you a little story about these statistics. Troy Polamalu, okay? Fucking Troy Polamalu. So we had a fake for the Pittsburgh Steelers that was a 100%er. We didn't even have a cancel the goddamn play because it was 100%er. If we ever end up in this situation, inside the 7-yard line on the left hash, it is a 100%er that the C gap will be wide open and we will just part the C to the left. It'll be a touchdown. 100%er. We're playing in Pittsburgh, the city I grew up in. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I won the punt, pass, and kick national championship, AJ. National championship, AJ.
Congrats.
AJ, did you ever win the national championship punt, pass, and kick?
I think I got 3rd or 4th out of 4 at the Nationals.
I'm proud of you, man. Anyways, so we're there in that stadium, okay? A lot of McAfee's in there. A lot of McAfee's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to score my first fucking touchdown, night game, Sunday Night Football, I believe it was, right here, touchdown. We get into that situation, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really going to happen. We're like on the 6 on the left hash. It's 4th and goal now. Field goal team's jogging on. I'm like, well, fuck, it's about to, I'm ready. I am ready for this to happen. So I get out there. I get down. Vinny's like happy for me. Vinny's like very excited. He's like, let's fucking go. Like Vinny's excited for me at this moment. I'm like, here we go. So I make the call. I forget what it was. So I start saying it, right? And everybody's looking at me like, okay, bright eyes. Here we go. Let's get after it. Offensive linemen are dead ass tired. They do not want to be in the middle of a field goal anyways. So they're just like, all right, I don't give a fuck if you die here, but this should work. Let's get some points. And all of a sudden, I go through my cadence, I call it, I get down, and Troy Polamalu's fucking ass goes ahead for however long his career was at this point. I think it was like 9 years or 8 years at this point. Not a once has he ever gone to this side of the field over here to the left and stood right in the C gap. Never. He lined up exactly where he had lined in film 100% of the time. And then as soon as I got to like the second cadence right before set, he just bounced his little ass right over to the C gap. And I like stopped everything I was doing and I literally just looked at him. And I gave him like a, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are you there right now? And then I stood up and said, we are kicking it. We have to kick it. We are kicking this. And then I get down, and Vinatieri kicks it, and I jog off the field, and Chuck Pagano comes running up next to me. He's like, hey, good job. What'd you see? I said, what did I see? Polamalu just fucking went right into the goddamn C gap. What did I see? What did I see? And he goes, okay, sounds good. Good call then. And good call then. And then Vinatieri's like, hey, way to go, buddy. I'm like, way to go? Are we not going to talk about how big of a fucking asshole Troy Polamalu is for what just happened right there? So that's...
I saw the angel of death waiting for me in the C gap.
It's unbelievable. What, you thought I was going to run him over? No way. He's probably going to strip me and score a touchdown the other fucking... That's Polamalu, bro. That ain't just your backyard football with your son. These are professional fucking athletes. He'd probably jump over the lineman, pick me up, and run me into the other fucking end zone if he wanted to. That's what he would have done.
The hard-hitting safety of his generation, too. Ed Reed, great cover safety. I don't know that you would have feared him, but...
Ed Reed, I would have feared Ed Reed. Yeah, if I saw Ed Reed in that C-gap, absolutely. Reed, boy, the best safety you ever seen, boy. I ain't doing shit to Ed Reed.
No, Ed Reed would have made the tackle. I'm saying that Polamalu would have shaved years off your life.
Oh, my God.
A couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We noticed. We know. We don't like that kid.
I don't think a lot of people understand what swag is. Some of this younger generation thinks, swag is just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. The swag is a mentality. Yeah. Swag is a mindset. I try to tell this to some of the guys in the locker room this week. I said swagger, which is what swag comes from. Swagger is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. Or that you have your shoes, unlaced walking around with, you got your new Louis fanny pack that you make sure it's not worn at your waist, it's worn over your shoulder. That's not swag. That's not swagger. That's fashion choices. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And my essence on the field is that I feel like I'm a throwback player and I'm a tough guy. What I've played through, how I wear my stuff, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward. To me, that's what swag is all about.
You're damn
all
right.
This fake swag out there. I got my special towel. I got this. I got that. I got this writing out there. A lot of you guys are just posers.
All right.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on this Overreaction Monday, January 11th, 2021, years after 0. Hour 3 begins right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. And before we get to our very decorated football guest, AJ Hawk, Diggs shot his hand up in the air as if there was some breaking news. Diggs, what is going on?
The Eagles are parting ways with Coach Doug Peterson.
Wow. Oh, wow.
This comes from Jason Lockenfora.
Okay, so Jason Lockenfora, shout out to you for breaking that news about the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll talk to Ian Rapaport about that in about 22 minutes or so. Can't wait to hear the details behind this because it had come out originally that Doug Peterson's job was safe. There was a joint press conference. There was all this. Then there was some mumblings that there was potentially trouble in the waters for Doug Peterson with the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, everybody saw the way this year played out. They drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round. Carson Wentz came out a pro broken man mentally, it seemed like. Their team stunk. They end up losing on Sunday Night Football when Doug Peterson decides to put Nate Sudfeld in for what he called meaningful reps, in which he had already had those before, and Jalen Hurts was potentially about to lead the boys back into winning that game when they were only down 3, which then led to a conversation about the culture in the Philadelphia Eagles locker room. Allegedly, a couple players were upset. It was originally reported that they had to be held back. That has since cooled off on its factuality of the entire thing. But obviously, there was trouble in Philadelphia just years after winning the Super Bowl. Doug Peterson sent out to the shipyard in Philadelphia. Get the hell out. What are they going to do now? Who's their quarterback? Will they move Carson Wentz? That's a massive contract. Is Jalen Hurts the future? He's going to have to learn another offense yet again. Will they go all in on Jalen Hurts like Baltimore did for Lamar a couple years ago? Or will there still be controversy in the quarterback room? Joining us now, a man who won a college football championship and a Super Bowl, AJ Hawk. AJ, your thoughts on that entire sitch?
Yeah, I mean, you laid it out beautifully, I think. But I guess when you started hearing, yesterday or the day before, that he was going to have to meet with Jeff Lurie, the owner, okay, things like Rapaport, Schefter, all these guys, they don't just make stuff up. So they have to, hear things from sources that they trust to know, hey, there may be something to this. He may be gone, and, hey, we just saw it happen.
Unless a darn Schefter tweets it out. Okay? Don't believe it. But if it's any other what's that?
But then it's picked up by ESPN.com.
That's called a double down. Okay, that's a darn Schefter hitting a goddamn grand slam, by the way. Whoever's running a darn Schefter at home is like, on ESPN.com. I did it. But any other insider that you hear speak, somebody is telling them something. That's why, when Rapaport goes on as a pundit or a Schefter or Field or anybody goes on as a pundit and you hear their takes on something, it's like, okay, well, why is he saying that? Who's telling him that information? And how much of it should we take serious or how much should we think is just kind of, fluff around the edges? So I'm pumped to talk to Rapaport about this thing. How long was this in the making? Is Carson Wentz staying now? Is this Lurie saying we want a coach that can fix Carson Wentz? We want to stick with Carson Wentz. You broke him, you son of a bitch. You guys were side-eyeing each other all goddamn game. We have hundreds of photos that are saying it. Or is this them saying we need something new? Let's go ahead and turn the page on the chapter that was the Super Bowl win for the first time in 50 years, and let's go start brand new. I'm intrigued to see what they end up doing. Connor, what do you got?
Well, did they try to ship him out, and then because they sent out all these feelers and nobody, was interested at all, did Doug Peterson, were they like, okay, I guess we have to get rid of Doug if we have to keep Wentz?
Well, Alex Van Pelt. Look for Alex Van Pelt to potentially get some interviews with the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. Hey, your guy, Aaron's guy, last night, Sunday Night Football, Aaron said he came up through the West Coast offense. He knows it inside and out there in a good spot. He had a mask or whatever that had AVP on it. Okay? I knew it was a game time whenever he's like, this is what you will call me, by the way, AVP. He had a hell of an evening. I assume his name's getting tossed into the head coaching conversation stat after what happened last night.
Yeah, you would think. And I remember, I think last week talking on the show, and Aaron mentioned how impressive AVP is. It's a shame that it's during the COVID era and his face is covered up the whole time and people don't get to see, which who knows when it comes to head coaching possibilities in the future. You never know what's going to happen. But I thought he was thrown into a weird spot, too. Not only is the head coach gone, whatever, the special teams coach is the acting head coach, but then all of a sudden you jump out to this early lead. We know it's super difficult to play with an early lead. I remember I kept saying, look how much time is left. This is unbelievable how much time they have to play with this lead. And they did a heck of a job, man. How the combination of mixing the run and the pass, being conservative at times, then taking shots when you can. I thought it was masterful.
Everything was working on the field, which is great for AVP. Let's go back a couple. Is something wrong with his face? What's wrong with his face?
I mean, I said it's a shame it's during COVID and his whole face is covered and we don't get to see his face.
You wanted us to see his face, though.
Because this may be the most camera time he gets as a coach. Absolutely. Coaching job. Okay. So hey, I'm like this. When this is your time to shine, you brought the Browns a playoff victory. It's a monumental moment, and we don't get to see the guy who is calling the play.
It is, isn't it? I mean, that is the real thing. What a huge first time in 24 years they get a dub or whatever. Corvette in the locker room afterwards. I mean, they should be. Cleveland, I'm so happy for the dog pound, dude. I am so happy for the goddamn dog pound. They deserve it. It's been so long, and we talked about poetic justice being served with the Ravens-Titans game, which I will talk to you about here shortly, but this seems like poetic justice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Steelers, the last time they were in the playoffs, the last 2 times they're in the playoffs, have knocked them out, okay? The Steelers have been their longest rival. I mean, it is a perfect full circle type situation for the Browns to get their first win in a long time. And if you listen to Pittsburgh people, more specifically, Mark Madden, Pittsburgh radio show host at Mark Madden X, he says, hey, listen, hate to break it to you, Pittsburgh. This is going to happen. We're now the 3rd best team in the AFC North. Whoa. And if Joe Burrow learns how to play a little bit better, 4th team in the AFC North. He's projecting bad things for the future for Pittsburgh. What a big moment for AVP and the Browns. Not only do you get a big win, you potentially kill your biggest rival in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be – they talked about it on the broadcast. Like, there's a lot of free agents for Pittsburgh. They got to make decisions on certain guys. They got to make decisions on coaching staff changes. And I know my picks were pretty bad, I think, the rest of them, but I did pick the Browns to win outright. So I'm glad I at least got that one.
Attaboy.
Nice job. Wow.
Diggs and Gumpy are hot right now, so you don't even have to worry about our picks, pal. We're riding the lightning over there with those 2 guys. Let's talk about that Ravens-Titans game. I loved, and I'm going to lay this out, and I assume you're on my side, but I love that Marcus Peters, what is that? Is that iced tea? Jesus Christ. Be an adult, dude.
Come on, iced tea.
There's a hole in the cup over here.
Oh,
There's a hole in the cup. That wasn't me.
Someone poked it.
Son of a bitch cup. Anyways, the thing that I liked about it was Marcus Peters gets that pick. Big moment, 2-minute drill, okay? Got to have it at some point. They get that pick. He jukes one guy, jukes another guy. Then he slides, inevitably going down because the game's over. Before he even finishes the slide, his brain has already told him, oh, fucking get on that logo. Yep. He turns immediately upon icing the game, winning the game, and they go straight to the logo. I loved it. That is good shit talking right there. Like, you ate one earlier in the season when everybody called into question whether or not your team was still a team or still the team that we thought your team was and has been for a long time. Then you iced the game in Tennessee I fucking loved it because there was no, anybody had to tell them. Nobody had to be like, hey, let's go do it. It was immediate. So for me, I love the moment. And I love good shit talking, situations like that happening, coming to a close. I just loved everything about it, AJ.
Well, it was somewhat organic, I feel like. And Marcus Peters, I'm sure in his mind was like, this would be amazing if we could find a way to end the game on defense. We need to go out to the logo. I think Calais Campbell even said, I didn't know what I was doing. I was following my teammates, and I didn't really understand until we got there. And then I realized, this is what we're doing. So it's not like they had to sit there and talk about it.
Yeah, the logo! Hey!
Got him!
Hey, fuck you
does
now.
anyone know? Hey, Pat, is anyone in Tennessee mad that Marcus Peters possibly knocked that receiver down?
Oh, for pushing him back? They ran that play back a couple times. Are you talking about pass interference there?
Yeah, on his pick.
Did you watch the film room with Hasselbeck, Keyshawn, Rex, and Brewski?
No.
Okay, Keyshawn was calling for that too, by the way, and they broke it down, and the angle they had, you couldn't really see it. That was actually a pretty interesting way to watch football. I would watch them again. I would watch that one again because they had different angles. For instance, when the pick play was called, which never gets called, right? The pick play never, ever gets called. They ran a replay back of it and explained it real quick. I actually had to delete a tweet.
Ooh.
I actually had to.
Really?
Yeah, because I was, it was gaining, my tweet was gaining a lot of traction. And then after I watched the film, I was like, oh, it is completely wrong. I almost did an update, but at that point, it had gone too big. It's like, nobody's going to see the update button.
Don't.
So I had to get out of there. But the film room was pretty nice. There was a couple things there. But I love that they just fucking danced on the logo, dude. God damn it, I loved it.
You knew it was going to be a word two before because Calais Campbell and them barking to the lineman while walking off.
Love a good chippy playoff.
How about Lamar saying, hey, we're going in?
Yeah.
Like basically told the boys, hey, as soon as the game was over, we're going in.
See ya.
They had the camera on him, by the way, because they assumed he was probably going to go talk. They had the camera on him, and he's right in the camera like, yep, we ain't fucking shaking that shit. Let's go ahead and get out of here. And then some PR guy had to run him down. Lamar, hey.
Whoa.
We need you back on the field, actually. You got to go do an interview. I ain't doing an interview. Miss Lisa. Okay, I'll go do an interview with Miss Lisa. All right, let me hug everybody out here. His interview with her was awesome, by the way. And I like that the swag of the Baltimore. Big Truss is back, it feels like, in Baltimore. And I'll tell you what, Bills, I mean, we're going to see. This is going to be a great game this weekend, I think, Bills and Ravens.
Well, don't you think when you think of the Ravens and you think of them dominating, being a physical team, going back to like the Ray Lewis Suggs days, like that's what you think of. Hey, we're having some monsters on defense. They're going to knock everybody around. They're going to talk before the game, during the game, after the game.
Never
That's
happens.
what Ravens
Anybody
are.
else?
Yeah, it's Hawks. It's Hawks' house.
I mean, this guy's internet stinks.
It never happens with anybody else.
Close out your other browsers, dude.
Hey, what do you got, Daniel?
Okay. Got what?
Hey, what's that?
What you got.
What's going on, dude?
First of all, this is not on my side.
We had Lex Lumpkin on. Okay, Lex Lumpkin was on. No problem. Mark Madden calls us from what appears to be an office room basement.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
Run a speed test.
You come on from your library, and what do we got? Problems.
Yeah.
Every day. Because you're saying such good shit, we just can't hear it.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Clean it up on your side.
Hey, I'll tell them. Hey, boys, let's clean it up.
Clean it up, boys.
By the way, that's me as a head coach in the NFL right there. Hey, I'll tell them. Hey, boys, I don't know how this whole thing works, but figure it the fuck out. Okay?
Clean it up for Christ's
Get a
sake.
first down.
That's what you guys are here for. All right? You want me to call the fucking? You want me to connect the thing to the thing?
AJ's got to blow into the Nintendo and fix his goddamn router.
He does got to do that. By the way, we gave away 4 PS5s instead of 5 PS5s because we got conned out of 2 PS5s.
Happens.
That's the game.
That's PS5s, baby.
That's right.
That is. I ordered. AJ, did you get your Oculus yet?
No, but I've thought about it multiple times. I'm waiting for yours because I know you're going to get sick of it soon, so I'm waiting for that.
No, I am not. It's complete opposite, by the way. This weekend, I took quite a liking to the ping pong. Okay, so this weekend I sharpened the sword on ping pong. So, for instance, with the boxing, they have 9 different fighters. I counted this weekend, so I get the stories right. 9 different fighters and like 4 different levels.
Okay.
So I've won outright already. Okay, so I've already beat everybody at every level.
Yep.
Knockouts, by the way, all of them.
Obviously.
Except for that one time where I took one punch to the suckle and it knocked me out. I mean, that was bullshit. The Oculus bamboozled me. But I went back down to like where you would probably start as soon as you get it or the only level you're at, wherever. And where I was getting into like the second round every once in a while with some of those fighters. I'm 2-3 punches knockout. I think I am right now a sharpened Oculus boxer.
Nice. Ham hocks.
Like I am. It's the
You're in the zone.
I am. And then I took that zone right over to ping pong. We're going to start streaming this. I think it's just going to be because you can talk to the person you're playing against.
Oh yeah.
I think we're just going to stream me just sitting there, I think, for like an hour playing people.
Talking shit.
Oh, no. Because there's some people that are so fucking bad. And it is. You know what I mean?
Even bury him.
Yeah, like it's for the entertainment purposes while streaming, I'll be intrigued to see how I handle it. You know what I mean? Because there are some people that are very bad. AJ, you got to get in there. I played AQ and ping pong like 20 times this weekend or whatever. I mean, it was a good time out there.
Killed them. Slaughter rule?
Yeah.
Huh?
I've been asking you if I can play against you, I will get it.
Ping pong, you can. Boxing, you cannot yet. I assume they'll figure it out. They got starships popping out of Elon Musk's fucking garage every 3 days to go up to space. And if you can't afford it, no big deal. Hop in. You'll just go plant some seeds on Mars to pay back or whatever. I mean, at some point, they'll be able to figure out the boxing. But the ping pong, you can play against each other. It is, and it's real, too. It's very real. I am a problem on there. I mean, I learned how to do backhand.
Ooh. Can you actually have like different kinds of serves? I mean,
spins.
Like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And by the way, the serve has to fall 6 inches.
Oh well.
So you like have to throw it up and everything like that.
It should.
So it's real rules. Yeah, it's real rules. The only thing that's different is games to 11. You switch serve every 2.
Okay.
Huh.
Not the 5.
Instead of 5, it's every 2 or whatever. And there's service faults that pop up out of nowhere, kind of fuck you, especially if it's an important thing. Yeah. It's like, maybe it wasn't me. Maybe it was a goddamn glitch in the fucking hand thing.
Right.
But yeah, you take the point, I guess. Cat head over there from Germany, dude. Fucking get over it. It's internet.
Is there any way that Creed boxing game allows you to play online against other people? Or no?
I'm saving the Creed game for whenever we start streaming so I can just kind of go through the entire game.
Level 1. Yeah.
I think, by the way, those are going to be quick ones early. So I might have to tune in quick whenever we get to that. AJ, you mind taking some phone calls before we get to a break here? And then Ian Rapaport joins us in 7 minutes or so.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Ian Rapaport, actually breaking news right now, at Rap Sheet has tweeted out 2 minutes ago, after speaking with two people close to former Eagles coach Doug Peterson, it sounds like this is what it boiled down to. Peterson was sick of people telling him what to do. Listen!
Wow.
Listen! Okay? What was it? First Super Bowl in 50 fucking years? Okay? People eating their goddamn Philly cheesesteaks down at Pat Gino's or any of the other ones that out-of-towners don't know about, because, to be honest, why would you spend your entire trip to Philadelphia searching around small towns looking for a tiny little sub shop? I understand it's probably better than the bullshit one that's very convenient to everything that you're potentially traveling to, so stop bashing people. I understand that people are eating Philly cheesesteaks and eating horse shit off the parade route that I created. Yep. So how come we lay off my goddamn visor, my beautiful flow, and I'll put in whoever the fuck I want to put in there? And Lori's like, well, that's just not how it's going to work. I own the team. Fire me then. You're fired. Fuck you. I'm out here. What if it did go down to that type of thing? I would love Doug Peterson times 30 if that was the case, if he went down guns a-blazing.
Well, don't you think he's going to be a candidate for some of these head coaching openings right now?
I would assume. The whole Jalen Carson thing is going to be, criticized and talked about for a long time, because is it the coach's job to manage expectations for everybody and what's going to happen behind closed doors so that whenever they unfold outside of the house, it doesn't just shock everybody, like the Nate Sudfeld situation, like Carson coming out and saying that he felt betrayed or whatever. There was something like the sources were leaking that it was a shattered and fractured relationship. Then you got players liking tweets for Carson to play, and it's just... Is that going to weigh into play for why you wouldn't hire Doug Peterson? Or would you look strictly at what he has done good as a head coach and think, you know what, I'll take his good. We'll try to get around the drama that doesn't happen if you're hiring him. That's a very intriguing. Would you hire Doug Peterson to be your head coach right now?
I mean, I would definitely interview him. I'd want to see I would first want to really know what happened in Philly. Like, wherever he does interview you, hopefully they tell him.
He has a good relationship with Joe Douglas, so the Jets is an option for old Dougie Peterson.
Yeah, you always say how these insiders don't just tweet out things for fun. That's what Shefty tweeted, is the relationship about Joe Douglas.
Okay, so he's going to the Jets. Congrats to the Jets getting Doug Peterson.
Wow, he'll fix Darnold for sure.
But now we got Darnold and probably a new quarterback. How's this going to go? Jalen Carson 2.0. NFL 2021 season in New York. By the way, they're off Broadway, okay, Philadelphia. Now the show is moving to Broadway. We got quarterback who has been here and done well against quarterback that just got drafted high and seems to have much different traits than the starter that is working and the starter isn't working. Let's play ball. Doug Peterson, good luck out there. Yeah! That could happen.
Who says no?
Who says no?
Hey, that Philly job is not one of the most enticing jobs available, though. Think of what you're going to walk into. You got to make some big decisions, man.
Can we put our swords down? Everybody, okay? Fletcher Cox, I saw you liking tweets. Okay, Lane Johnson's out in the fucking woods, doesn't know what's going on. Jason Kelsey had to clarify some statements on social media, but his social media actually says this isn't his social media because he hates social media. Love that. Legendary move. Then Carson, Jalen. Ertz. There's a lot of jobs that aren't really ones that you would love. What if Orlovsky's the fucking head coach?
Vanity Brains, they bring him in.
Is Dane Orlovsky going to the fucking Philadelphia Eagles, dude?
Makes too much sense.
The Eagles have the second least cap space behind the Saints. They are
they're good.
$51 million in the hole.
Nah, but they're going to trade Carson.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying they're just going to trade Carson.
Yeah. So,
who's taking Carson?
Colts. We know who's taking Carson.
Colts are not taking Carson. Get over it.
What about the football team?
They have their quarterback, dude. We watched him Saturday night. Are you kidding me?
Do you think you're banking on Heineke being an all-pro next year, AJ?
No, I need to see a little more film.
You don't know.
That's not. This is Overreaction Monday, AJ.
Oh, then yeah, he's probably gonna. Yeah, he'll probably beat out Aaron for the MVP next year.
Oh, maybe this year. By the way,
Look out.
Are all the votes already counted?
I don't think so.
No.
Let's get to a break. Rap Sheet joins us on the other side. Big news in the NFL. Doug Peterson and the Philadelphia Eagles have parted ways. Whose decision was it? Doug Peterson says, I'm tired of people fucking talking. Enough with the talking, okay? I'll do the talking. Talk to Ian how that'll happen. Is Jim Caldwell going to get hired in Houston and potentially save the Deshaun Watson-Texans relationship? Maybe. Or is he on the move to Miami? A lot of conversation about the controversy and the drama happening around the NFL. We'll talk to Ian Rapaport at Rap Sheet on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Overreaction Monday, January 11th, 2021.
There's a grown man with face paint on. So you're Big Nut.
I am, and you're Little Nut.
Well, I've had a few of those in my life. Hey, I'll tell you what, Big Nut. I hope to find you one day on my wedding night. Big Nut!
Little Nut!
You did a great job, too. The lines are straight. No DUI problem there. You're really doing a great job here, sir. Hey, Big Nut, I love everything you're about, bud.
Because we are going to win the game.
He just spit in my mouth while saying that.
The most likely team to make the college football playoff is the team that is in Columbus.
He said khakis are way too close to that team from up north. If you don't put black pants on right now, you're going to get booed out of Columbus. Yeah. So I went with the black. Makes me look thin. And whenever I say 2 letters, the place goes crazy. OH! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie George. That offense, though, led by Justin Fields. He has 41 touchdowns accounted for, only 1 turnover. I don't know how he isn't the Heisman favorite right now.
Well, he certainly has a chance to make a stick at that today, certainly next week.
He's supposed to be in Penn State, and Mike McQueary told me I wasn't Penn State material. Okay, Herbie was your quarterback. He was a senior. You were a freshman. What was he like as a teammate?
Oh, he was great, man. Big shoulder pads. Kurt could run for days back in the day.
We have a guy that can break every single bone in my body. Stipe, how you doing, boss man? They're down 6-1. She wants to flex on the gram. He says, lady, we are getting slaughtered by the Pittsburgh Penguins. No.
Do I do it too? I thought I need to do this.
Dance with me. Dance with me.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Jesus. Double reach?
Welcome back to the show, dude. We're getting after it there during the break, AJ. I saw you doing it as well in your library.
Oh, that was the live shot I saw of you guys dancing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was so confused. I heard the music, and then it was playing something, and then all of a sudden it cuts to you guys dancing.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Did that go out over YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Whoa.
We should have cut it to you, too, because we saw you
moving with that cigar.
Dancing.
Shake.
Joining us now is a newsbreaker in a world that needs newsbreakers.
Oh, yeah.
This morning, massive news coming out of the NFL this afternoon, I guess. The Philadelphia Eagles and Doug Peterson have parted ways. A man with inside sources on that particular situation and others that we will ask him about from the NFL Network, Ian Rapaport. Ian!
What's going on?
Ian, when you scheduled to come on this show at 2:25-ish, were you pumped to find out that massive news is going to break moments before coming on this show?
I was scared to death that it would happen as I was on this show again.
Okay.
Because, look, it's great when I break it because, man, that's a fun story. But if someone else broke it and I was on the show, then it gets really awkward. So this worked out, I think, best for everyone.
Yeah, awkward for you for sure. I have a big it's not awkward if you don't make it awkward policy, but I could see how that could potentially be awkward. Let's talk about the Doug Peterson situation. Did you know this was potentially coming? Did everybody kind of have a heads up, or was there a meeting and Doug Peterson and Lori just couldn't come to an agreement? Because you said that Doug Peterson is sick of people telling him what to do. Was there a knockdown, drag-out fight in Philadelphia this morning?
I don't think it was a knockdown, drag-out fight, but I know he was not having it. And, this actually, the meeting happened today. This was the second meeting that owner Jeffrey Lurie and Doug Peterson had since the season ended. The first meeting did not go well. There were some discussions about what to do staffing, and he recommended some in-house promotions. Press Taylor, quarterback's coach, becoming OC. Matt Burke, the defensive line coach, becoming defensive coordinator. Jeffrey Lurie wanted more. He wanted bolder. He wanted different ideas and opinions, and it sounded like Doug's plan he was not in favor of. This actually goes back to last year when, I don't know if you remember this, but he goes out for the press conference to end the season last year, and he says, my coaches are safe. And then after talking to ownership, the coaches were not safe, and they had to make some changes on the offensive side of the ball. Doug Peterson did not like that, and that's one thing that he was pretty clear about. He had his thoughts. He had his guys he wanted. He had his beliefs. He just did not want anybody telling him that his beliefs were wrong, so he is now out.
Get out of my face with your stupid ideas. I'm out of here.
Ian, what about Doug Peterson's future? Do you see him getting a head coaching gig right away?
Joe Douglas, huh?
I would say it is a possibility. There's obviously a lot of familiarity from Joe Douglas, right? However, I also know this is not based on reporting. This is my just common sense, right? Doug Peterson took a very, very hard stance as far as not wanting to make staff changes.
Got it.
He did not want anybody telling him what to do. He resisted the owner, knowing that if he did, he would get fired. It is hard for me to imagine that he makes all those decisions, resists so much, unless he thinks at least he's got a good shot of getting a job.
Oh, he was looking for a disagreement.
I don't know if he was looking for it, but he was more like, I'm not going to compromise because why would I if I may have something waiting? That's what I would say. I think there's a chance he's got something that he at least thinks he's got a good shot at, which would presumably be the Jets job.
All right, I think we've squeezed that one dry. Let's move on. Deshaun Watson is going to make everybody's life miserable in Houston. Just 1 year after signing a $156 million contract, he is potentially going to play hardball with the Houston Texans and sit out. Now there's reports that he's potentially going to get traded or wouldn't mind getting traded to Miami. You came on last week and said that you think it would cost 4 to 5 ones if you wanted to trade for him. Miami has the 3, the 18, also 35, which is obviously early into the second round or whatever, and then a couple others as well. Do you see this potentially happening? And what do they mean Deshaun Watson can play hardball? Just sit out? Because everybody can do that.
Well, can they, though? Because the new CBA, sitting out is unbelievably punitive.
Oh, really?
Right? It is incredibly costly as far as fines. Basically, contract holdouts are almost a thing of the past. So him playing hardball, he would have to really mean it, which if you're going to request a trade, you would have to really mean it. I'm not putting it past him. It's definitely possible. I've not gotten a firm answer on if he is going to request a trade, if he is going to play hardball. I just know these are the things that he is now considering. I know it was not a good situation in Houston. The anger is real, man. I mean, he is very upset. And I think when the owner promised him he'd be involved, the owner promised him he'd have say, not that they're just going to hire who he wants, but he's at least going to be consulted. And then he finds out on Twitter when I put it out that they're hiring Nick Caserio. I think Deshaun Watson's not happy, and I get it. It's been bungled. It has nothing to do with Nick Caserio, but it's been bungled pretty bad.
Is this kind of your fault, you think?
Jeez. I wouldn't say it's my fault, but I wouldn't say I'm blameless either.
Hey, I saw Deshaun on that boat out there. Okay, I hope he figures it out. I'll be intrigued. The people in Miami, I assume, would love that move. What a superstar he is. Caserio sitting in quite an interesting situation here with the whole.
First day on the job.
Yeah, trade my best player idea. Okay, great. This has been fun. Yeah, happy to be a GM down here, and we have no draft capital at all.
Now that would get some draft capital, but
for sure.
I don't think they want to do it, and I think the reason is really simple. You spend your whole career trying to find a guy like Deshaun Watson. Like if you're a GM, if you're a coach, all you want to do is find a quarterback, and they have one. So like, yes, obviously he's very upset, but why would you ever let him go anywhere? I would more say do whatever he wants, try to make it right if you somehow can. Also, like, let's just assume they trade him to Miami, which, again, like, there's a million steps that have to go. Like, do we know the Texans would want Tua? Like, I don't know that.
Allegedly, Caserio loved Tua whenever he was in Miami, is alleged situation. Did you get a phone call there or a text? Is there anything else happening? Anybody getting fired?
No, it's some of your people call me from the block number when I'm on.
Tom Pelissero.
I think I'm going to start. You know what you need to do? You need to use your bully pulpit and tell people that I'm not coming on here anymore if they call me from the block number. Get a hold of your people.
I have no idea what that means.
Your fans.
You think my fans are calling you?
Yes.
It's Pelissero.
My people. No way. You know how lazy our guys are? We're just chilling here.
Come on.
I don't even
think
call
your guys
chilling.
Maybe your guys don't know how to use the block number function.
No. Star 6-9, right?
Well, it's not my guys.
No.
Not Star 6-9.
Anytime, by the way, anytime you're talking, the guys are so invested, and our listeners are so invested, they ain't got time to call. I would assume that it's probably the arrow, Tom Pelissero, potentially to dance on your service so your phone cuts out mid-conversation before the boys have their questions. In Pittsburgh, they are pissed. Steelers fans are not happy. Ben Roethlisberger, after the game yesterday, goes, if they want me back, I'll play, you know? So publicly saying, if I'm not back next year, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you see that whole thing working out over there? Is anybody going to get moved, or is the organization that's known for consistency going to stay the same?
My gut says they stay the same. But it has been interesting because, you know, I know there's some reports earlier this year. Ben wants to be back, and I'm sure he does. And you know, health-wise, I think he's better this year than he was last year. For him to be back, everybody would have to be on the same page for that. He's almost 40. Stats were good. Obviously, did not play well yesterday. $40 million cap hit for a 40-year-old quarterback. That is a lot. That is a real lot. So to have him back, they would have to be absolutely sure that he is going to be health-wise ready to go. That said, the Steelers have thrived by consistency. They never change coaches. They never change quarterbacks. They are consistently always very, very good. The fact that they weren't extra good this year and lost doesn't make me think philosophically that they change.
Ian, what's going on down in Jacksonville? Like, is it really Urban Meyer's job? Have they officially interviewed him? Have they interviewed anybody else? Like, what's the story?
And follow up, yeah. Shad gets him on his yacht to just fish him in, right? That's what he's doing?
Yeah, I think that's, or just not let him go anywhere would be. Although he's going to, I mean, we'll see him tonight on the national championship game, right? So, that's tonight, right? Yeah. Because I think he's on the Fox crew there.
Oh, okay.
And then,
good for Urban.
You know, timing-wise, he's going to do the national championship game tonight. I don't know if he has any plans tomorrow. He is the top candidate for the Jaguars. They've talked.
Thank you, Ian. The boys have questions, I think, but we just got it. Urban Meyer press conference tomorrow announcing he's going to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's what you just said.
Thank you,
That's what
Ian.
you just said.
Thank you,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you kind of just said that.
Yeah.
Ian Rapaport basically
Don't
just said
tweet that.
Oh, that's
Tweet it.
awesome.
Too late.
Bro, congrats to Urban Meyer. Yeah. Congrats. Is it $12 million a year? Is that what he got? Because that's what it was alleged he was asking. That's awesome for $60 million 5 year.
Man,
man,
that's great.
Urban Meyer tomorrow.
That math was amazing. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was a punter at all those numbers. You know what I'm talking about. Ty, what do you got?
Ian, Sean McVay said that he doesn't know the status for Goff or Wolford come Saturday against the Packers. Have you heard anything about that, or Aaron Donald or Cooper Kupp or any of the other guys that they have banged up?
Aaron Donald's going to be okay because he's crazy. He's got a torn rib cartilage, which, as I'm sure Pat knows, is a horribly painful injury.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to play.
Yeah, right here, dude.
I mean, just awful. It's like a 2 or 3 week injury, and he's going to play.
Hey, they're going to give him that Tyrod Taylor, right? Probably. I'd assume. AJ, you probably know more than I do. They're going to give him that.
I'm sure.
I would assume. Hey, don't pop the lung, dude, over there in L.A. Because the other one did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember reading about that, yes.
I think you broke that news.
I think I did as well.
Attaboy.
Nice. Yeah.
Hey, we're putting in lidocaine there with golf tees.
What was it, Cooper Kupp? He kind of banged his knee. I think he's going to be okay. I was intrigued, though, like you were, about the quarterback comment, because it would be easy to be like, well, yeah, Goff should be better this week than he was last week. Yeah, I mean, he's our quarterback. He's going to start, but he didn't say that. I mean, this is their franchise quarterback. It should be a no-brainer. Maybe he's just being cautious to make sure that he comes out okay. I don't know. It was interesting. Or maybe he likes the intrigue of the quarterback situation. I don't know. I really don't want to go through this again because it was very annoying last week, so I'd prefer he just announce it. But unfortunately, this is not always about me.
Is it? Pelissero said something like that earlier last week when we talked to him. Because after you see how Goff played, he was inaccurate for sure. Balls were missing, not normal. But he was under center. He was taking snaps under center. He was handing the ball off. He threw some big-time balls whenever he had to. It made you wonder why you didn't put him in to start to begin. Like, that was literally, I think I asked that on Twitter. I was like, he's done everything that you would have to. It wasn't like they just got in there, shotgun, handoff, and then like little screens or anything like that. Like, they were going for it. So I'm intrigued by that. What the hell is going on over there in L.A.?
And McVay said he made the decision early in the week. So it's not like he even waited to see how Goff was, how he threw, like, hey, we're going to give him every chance to play. It wasn't like that. He made the decision early in the week. It's going to be John Wolford. And
is there trouble on the golf course? Whoa. Dude. Wow. Is there trouble
Let me see this way.
Oh, mate, I can't do anything big because I broke a TV last time, but there's just a little chipper there, pal. And then you see that.
I can see that.
I can play with what I just did right there.
In the hole.
Ian, can't take it. You got one, Connor?
Yeah, I got one. Rap sheet. Did Matt Nagy do enough to save his job, or is Chicago going to clean house as well?
Get him out.
I have not heard that he is in trouble like that. Wow. I'm sure there's some conversations today. And I would say I'm not going to, I was told Doug Peterson is almost certainly back, and then things went crazy, and now he's not back like everyone else. I mean, I think that was widely reported. So I'm not going to say that with this one. I would say I have not heard that he is in trouble.
Hey, what's the executives' thoughts around the NFL about the Steelers and Juju and everything like that going on? With the Browns is the Browns, and then the dancing on the shield or on the logo and everything like that. I love it personally. I'm a big fan of all the competitive jousting going on, whether it's verbal or physical. I'm a big fan of it. It seems 5 of the 6 games on Super Wildcard Weekend had some sort of rivalry storyline into it. I love it. Is there any conversation from the NFL on whether they're going to try to, pipe down on some of these things?
I haven't heard any conversation. I kind of like it too.
I love it.
I mean, like, if, you can definitely get offended if someone stomps on your logo. I mean, I guess. But it's also like there's a great way to get people to stop stomping on your logo, and that would be don't throw it to Marcus Peters with the game on the line.
Hey, if you don't want us dancing,
I think everyone in the world who knows anything about Marcus Peters knows that when he catches that ball, he is going to do everything he can to rub it in your face. And I was surprised that was all he did. Marcus Peters he's a national treasure, and I look forward to watching him this weekend.
What news is breaking next? Urban Meyer to Jacksonville.
We got 7 coaching hires to go. The Eagles just announced it officially. 7 coaching hires to go. I think 5 GM hires or 6. I don't know. Damn. It's going to be a lot of things. Just get me through past the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Hey, you're going to get us through the Super Bowl. We appreciate you. Right. At Rap Sheet, I believe, on the Twitter. The man who's going to break the Urban Meyer to Jacksonville Jaguar news here in the next few minutes or tomorrow at the press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rapaport. Thank you, Ian.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
We got to send him a thank you something.
Oh, yeah.
He's always very generous with his time, and he did tell us Urban Meyer has a press conference scheduled tomorrow.
True. Edible arrangement or something.
Yeah, some sort of something.
Maybe like Pelissaro dressed up, and you can just eat him.
What? Army Hammer, dude. Take it easy.
Yeah.
AJ, you saw that, obviously. I mean, that's right down your fucking aisle there.
What?
Oh,
the Army Hammer stuff on the internet yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Listen to that laugh.
Yeah. What's happening, man? I was trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, why is he trending? Oh, okay, cool.
I didn't know who this dude was. Had no idea who the fuck he was. I learned a lot about him quick.
A little bit of a wacko, apparently.
Really? I mean, to sneak into the trends in the middle of Super Wild Card Weekend, that is an unbelievable, especially with the way the world's going on, is an unbelievable feat. Army Hammer. What a fucking wacko of a man, allegedly.
Eating hearts.
I want to hold your heart and beat that motherfucker in my own hands. There's no way a human says that. It had to be out of a movie.
Well, he's not a very good actor, so it could have been.
Whoa, come on.
Just saying. Just saying.
Let's go to Tony down here in Wisconsin. What's going on, Tony? Had no idea Italians made it to Wisconsin.
Come on, Ad. There's plenty of us here.
All right, well, that's on me. That's what I'm just saying. I was ignorant to that fact previously. Now I am awoken to the amount of probably cooked up shit going on in Wisconsin. Tony, what do you want to talk about, pal? Oh, the cheese.
Yeah, I will say it is a little too cold over here. I hate this fucking state.
I can understand, Tony. What do you want to talk about, brother?
So, big-time Packers fan, but secondary team is the Ravens. Ray Lewis was a part of that. Greatest linebacker to ever play. No offense, AJ.
Kind of sure all-time leading tackler for the Packers.
No shot.
His favorite team.
So,
no shot.
Clock management there at the end of the game. About 12 minutes left. You would think, okay, let's run the ball, knock off some time. Less than 2 minutes, they give the ball right back. Then when they do get the ball with 2 minutes left, they throw the ball.
Tony, that's very interesting. He's talking about clock management for the Ravens, and it's the clock management thing is something that whenever you're a fan of a team, you watch them fuck it up and you get upset about it. And as you should, by the way, commentators rarely talk about the implications to poor clock management and situational football because if it works, nobody talks about it. For instance, the Browns were running hurry up yesterday in the fourth quarter or something like that. Whenever they were up 2 scores, and it worked, so nobody even it doesn't even get talked about because they scored a touchdown there. If the Ravens continue to pass the ball and not run it, but they pick up some first downs and inevitably score, nobody's talking about the poor clock management. It's just whenever you fuck up. So it's an interesting thing because you're a hero if you call a fake and it works. You're the dumbest human of all time if you call a fake and it doesn't work. But there's a lot of poor clock management situations that are just kind of getting passed by because if it works, it kind of puts a Band-Aid right over it and it's like, oh, it was the plan all along. You know what I mean, AJ?
Yeah, I think when you're talking about the Browns going hurry up when they were up like late in the game, I thought the same thing. Like, wow, these guys are going hurry up. They look like the Steelers were dead, man. They were tired, and I think they knew we got them on their heels. Let's keep rolling, and that's credit to AVP and the rest of the staff that they knew, like, hey, we can't let up. Like, if we give these guys any kind of hope, which the Steelers did have for a minute, then this thing could go really bad, and we're going to be the laughing stock forever if we lose this game. So credit to them.
Could you imagine the buttholes when that thing, the tink, tink, whenever that thing started just tinking on one side, that whole sideline, whenever that momentum changed, those buttholes got so tight over there. We can't do this. We haven't won a playoff game in 24 years. If we do this, oh my God, don't even get back into the COVID bus back to Cleveland if we do this.
I mean, it was down to 12 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like, it was
when they punted, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Get a stop, you're still in the game.
They did not
It became like a standard fourth quarter game. Like, okay, this is an NFL game now. Whenever that first half, it looked like it was JV versus varsity out there. Mm-hmm. They were fucking up everything, AJ. You think they shouldn't have arrested their players, you know? Mm-hmm. Since they arrested, and by the way, Frank Reich had a bunch of situational football decisions that, I mean, we want to get into. There's a bunch of them going on. I feel like there's potential.
Yeah, I mean, there's throughout the league. I know Vrabel's catching heat for punting, isn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah. And not only Vrabel, I think also Chairman and CEO Jeffrey Lurie has responded to the Doug Peterson and Philadelphia Eagles separation. I've spent the last few weeks evaluating everything from this past year and looking ahead. We're all very disappointed with the way our season went and eager to turn things around, not just for next season, but also for the future of the franchise. Ooh. Coach Peterson and I had the opportunity to sit down and discuss what the collective vision would look like moving forward. After taking some time to reflect on these conversations, I believe it is in both of our best interests to part ways. I have known Doug and his family for more than 20 years, and they will always be family to me, damn it. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him and everything we have accomplished together over the last 5 seasons. Everyone in the organization understands the type of man and coach that he is and how much he means to all of us, as well as the city of Philadelphia. We look forward to the day he'll be inducted into the Eagles Hall of Fame as a Super Bowl winning head coach, and we are confident he will have success with his next team. But as the leader of this organization, it is imperative for me to do what I believe is best for everyone as we look ahead to the future and move into our next chapter. I know that we have work to do to get back to where we want to be, but I also believe that we have an exceptionally strong group of people in this organization who can help set us up for future success. Attaboy, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Nice job, Jeff.
Good penmanship out of Jeffrey Lurie there immediately upon telling Doug Peterson that his ideals are stupid. We ain't fucking doing it. Get out of here.
Wouldn't it make sense to reunite Peterson and Wentz with Frank Reich and get the band back together that won the Super Bowl?
Country Bears.
Let's answer some phone calls. We don't need that.
I don't know. Why not?
We don't need that.
They got a statue, those two together. You add Frank.
Yeah, so's Rocky, dude. Okay, we fucking bringing him in?
Right, think about it.
Enough. Jesus.
Statue of number 11 right out there, right out in front of the big old oil drum right next to 18. That looked pretty good.
Yeah,
oh man. 12 gauge on his back.
Oh, yeah.
Fishing rod in his hand.
A couple ducks hanging off his hip, you know.
Looking like Eric Rudolph.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Hell yeah. Run, Rudolph, run. Have you seen that?
No.
Good.
You should.
Watch it.
What is it?
Manhunt, Deadly Games, and it's the Richard Jewell one. 100% worth a watch.
I saw the Richard Jewell movie.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a different one.
Okay, me too. I saw the movie too. I watched first episode of this thing, and I'm like, all right, don't need to fucking watch it. I watched the movie. They're not giving me anything different. I was wrong. The last 9 episodes are unbelievable. It's better than the movie. Much better than the movie.
That's good to know. It's awesome. I've been searching for something to watch for weeks, I feel like.
Hey, I'm starting Unabomber tonight because there ain't no fucking football on.
It is slow.
It is slow.
I'm not going to make it through Unabomber tonight.
Sully's in it.
Jacob Sully's in it?
Jacob Sully's
main character.
I'll rock with Jacob Sully.
He crushes it.
Does he?
Oh, yeah.
Does he have an accent? He's Australian, I think.
He is. I believe he has an American accent.
Philly accent.
Yeah.
Really?
Water.
Like Lurie.
He says water.
He does say water.
Hey, how's the poll look today?
Oh, Pole's looking massive right now.
Oh, Zito's big old pole fresh out of the COVID cave. Congrats on surviving COVID,
Thank you so much. With over 25,000 votes, what was the demise of the Steelers? Coach Tomlin's last place, surprisingly, or it's at 8.6%. Evan Fox cursed, 24.6%.
Oh.
Big Ben not beating it, 26.5%. And Juju dancing, 40.2%.
Wow.
Crazy turn.
So Juju dancing was the demise of the Steelers. It did become quite a storyline there whenever he was hitting to chop them on people.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, it's respectful. There's no leaders in there. Then they started turning the other way, losing games. It all got blown out of proportion.
Dancing in the middle of a cadence.
Yeah, can't do that.
He was dancing. Did you see that video of him dancing in the fourth quarter in the middle of a drive?
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Think about being that loose. Don't you wish you were that loose?
Yeah. Just like I always tell like young guys, I'm like, man, you guys have way more fun than I ever had playing football.
Just being that comfortable. I have so much envy for. I'm jogging on the field. I'm like, all right, here we fucking go. All right, don't fuck up for everybody here. He's just out there like, yep. Yeah,
Corvette.
Oh, we're doing a cadence. Hey, hey. Oh, we have to score. And then he'll run somebody over, by the way.
Yeah.
I can see it
Listen,
now.
he's great on the field.
He had a good
Wentz
game.
slinging the rock to Juju next year, wearing the horseshoe.
Hey, if he's on the Colts, I will be a diehard Juju supporter.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jake in Kansas. What's going on, Jake? This guy stinks.
Not a lot of service in Kansas.
This guy stinks, dude.
He's probably out there.
Think about Jordy Nelson out there in Kansas, fucking just working on the farm for this guy to call into the show. Screwing him. Unbelievable, dude. Jay, come on, pal. Let's go to Blake in Washington State. Blake, what's going on?
Pat, AJ, boys, how we doing?
Hey, not too shabby. How you doing, eh?
Hey, not too bad. Hey, I got a question about that Colts-Bills game when Josh Allen kind of drew him off sides on that 4th and 3, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was terrible. I don't know how you jumped.
So, it didn't even seem like they were going to run a play. They were probably just trying to draw him offside. So, does Josh and the center have some sort of communication there where if the center sees that they jump off, he'll hike the ball so they can try to get a free play out of it, or what kind of communication is going on there?
Yeah, Blake, that is the hard count play. As soon as the center sees somebody move, they are to snap it to steal a play. You see the Packers do it. Everybody has it in there whenever it's a hard count, but can you execute it, and can your center have good enough periff that you see the entire thing? Also, a move you see is a guard or tackle. Whenever they know it's a hard count, if somebody moves, they'll move and put their hand on them to try to draw a foul. Defense should have been screaming earmuffs there, though, huh? Shouldn't somebody, AJ, that guy should have known.
I'm guessing they did, but guys are tired. They get caught up in the moment. Yeah, and it's crazy that those things happen.
I don't know how you don't jump every time, by the way. And I've said that. I don't know how offensive linemen aren't allowed to even, if their tit accidentally flexes, as a cramp or something, boom, 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even do it. And D lineman's like, he just moved his tit. I seen it. I don't know how they do it.
I mean, later in the game, Darius Leonard was standing over the center, and they were trying to do the same thing, and he was just screaming, "No play, no play, no play!" It was awesome.
Hey, Darius Leonard flies around.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, they give up some yards over there.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's a player, though, I think. That Baltimore-Buffalo game, I think, is the most intriguing one. I think Packers beat the shit out of the Rams. I might be completely wrong on that whole thing, and I apologize for Rams fans that are pretending. I think the Packers cover here, okay? I think a big win. I think it's going to be tough out there. I think the Bucs beat the Saints, by the way. That would be an upset, I guess. I'm just not sure. Locked in, Tom Brady's going to lose 3 times. The Kansas City Browns, I think Kansas City wins. Congrats to the Browns, though. Hell of a run. And they do have the potential pieces to definitely cover the 10-point spread. Mm-hmm. That feels like that's the right bet there. But the Baltimore-Buffalo game, that's going to be a game. I think that's going to be an incredible game. Excited to see what they both bring. AJ Hawk.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. The Bills, it's crazy to see how good they really are. And I feel like they're set up for success. They're going to be good for a long time, I feel like.
Yeah, and I don't think they said they had to reframe the playoffs for Josh Allen as an extension of the regular season because he was too tight last year. I wonder if they'll be MC hammering all week. I would assume so. Chris Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed will be on the other side on this gorgeous Sirius XM channel. We'll be back, Manana, with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Fucking didn't even get a beat drop in there. It was too quick. AJ, listen. AJ, this show on the YouTube is awesome. Okay, we're very thankful. We had 52,000 people watching at one point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Number 1 trend earlier
on Twitter.
Yeah,
stupid.
It's awesome. I mean, I feel like the people, your fans are they're invested too. They are into it. They're engaged.
Well, we appreciate that. I mean, because you have to find this goddamn thing. And everybody that watches, we know there's probably a lot of other shit that could penetrate your eyeballs because there's so much content out here. Nickelodeon ran a goddamn NFL game last night. But the fact that you guys spend your time with us, we are so thankful. We are giving away that $25,000. All you got to do is tweet #watching PMS or something like that. Mm-hmm. That was it, right?
Yep.
Watching PMS with a picture of where you're watching from so we can learn a little bit about you. I've learned a lot about the people that watch this show. Mm-hmm. Very, very thankful for everybody. All over the place.
Yeah, eclectic bunch.
Poland, we got an entry from.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Shout out to Poland, dude. This regional show is doing some things. We are very, very grateful for you. That's fucking insane, dude.
Awesome. What did Ty say? It's an eclectic group?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. It is. People from all walks of life, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Come on. Hey, come on.
Diverse.
Let's talk some sports shit out here. It's a good time. We'll be back, Manana, with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Woo! I'm pumped to talk to him. Just donated $500,000 to the Barstool Fund. I wonder what he did all weekend. Did he watch the games? How's he preparing for the Los Angeles Rams? A lot to talk about. What did he watch this weekend? Did he watch Manhunter, you think, with Richard Jewell?
I'm guessing as the previous like 16 weeks or whatever it's been, he's going to say no, he hasn't watched Ted Lasso, he didn't really watch any of the games, and he didn't really get into any new show.
What does he do? He reads books? Is that what he does? That's awesome.
Whatever he does, he doesn't tell us on the show.
Eyes to the
Squats.
sky,
He will one
looking
day.
for UFOs.
He probably does squat all morning. Squats all morning with his power lift kit. Then he gets out there with the binoculars. Starts checking out them stars. Any one of them moving too much? Go find these
I
aliens.
wasn't there yesterday.
Then he reads a book. Then he goes right back out.
Yep.
Is that what he does all weekend, I wonder?
Reads a book about aliens, you think, and then goes right back out to check out the aliens.
You know, him saying that he saw, right? He said he saw an orange thing fly and then a bunch of fighter pilots fly.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, there ain't a lot of times where I'm driving around at night where I'm not hoping for that same exact thing.
Every time.
I rode my motorcycle to the airport one time this year. I forget when it was. And whenever we land normally at the airport, it's like a couple back roads to get to my house. And it's like 1:30, 2 a.m. I got on the bike and I was just cruising. And there was this plane, found out later, flying very low. Okay, and all I saw was lights, and it seemed to be flying slower than I was driving. I was like, it's happened. You know, like,
here we go.
I am so pumped. Like, what are you going to do? All right, I'm talking about this tomorrow. So I'm slowing down on the bike, okay? So I'm riding on these back roads on my motorcycle, like looking up at the sky a little bit. Son of a bitch found a little crack in the clouds there. FedEx, that son of a that son of a bitch was FedEx, dude. It was so big. Man. But or did it just disguise itself as FedEx?
Oh, see?
That's what you got to think about. If I saw that orange ball with a bunch of fighter pilots behind it, I don't even know what I'd do. I'd fucking, let's go find a goddamn pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Here we go. Be awesome.
Wait, how did the plane fool you? If it was up in the clouds, you saw just the blinking lights on the wings?
Yeah, I saw the lights through the clouds.
You didn't think that to be a plane?
No, because the way it's shaped, the lights, the way it was shaped. It's
going slow, too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it was
on the
going
wings. On the wings and the tail, yeah.
Okay, what do you do? You study fucking planes on what lights or what? Do you know the FedEx plane is differently lit than a fucking commercial pilot? Do you know that?
It's not.
Mr.
I'm sure it's very similar to the rest of the
I'm sorry.
I know
sorry.
what the lights of a plane look like in the sky.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I know if it looks weird, like, oh, that one could be an alien. I haven't had that experience. Maybe someday if I'm riding a motorcycle on the back roads at 2 a.m. like you.
Fucking Sully Hawk.
Yeah, I hope you do have that experience. I hope you do.
I do too.
It'll be humbling, okay?
Why?
Because you'll realize how small you are in this world, and then you'll see it's a FedEx plane, and you'll say, God damn it, I could have been home 15 to 20 minutes ago if I wasn't fucking around with this big-ass plane. Anyways.
How do you explain that? How do you explain that to Sam in the moment? Like when you show up, she's like, didn't you land like an hour ago?
She's normally asleep or whatever. But the next morning when we woke up, I did tell her that I was potentially 20 to 30 minutes later than expected because I thought I found it.
Almost got abducted.
Thought I was trying. Wait until, if there's something that appears to potentially be a Bigfoot, you won't see me for a week or two.
Wow.
I'm going into the woods with that son of a bitch.
Hunting.
He's going to have his way with you. That's right. Get in there.
No.
Well, the fact that you're just saying it's a he is very sexist to
gonna
you
slap
and
you.
almost disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross.
Oh my God.
Ohio.
That's the show, man. Hey, we're giving away 20. Thanks, AJ. Thanks,
You're too
AJ, for
quick.
doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, AJ.
Thanks, AJ.
Hammer Don is in 28 minutes right here. Our gambling podcast. A couple of the boys are on heaters right now. We'll talk about the weekend that was in a football sense. And we'll see you tomorrow with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. 25,000 up for grabs. Hashtag watching PMS. We appreciate the hell out of you. You're the absolute best. That's the show. Overreaction Monday. Yeah.